This podcast is sponsored by June's Journey.
June's Journey is a free-to-download mobile game where you have to find objects hidden in beautiful, colorful scenes. You play as June Parker, a detective in the 1920s, on a case to discover a scandalous family secret after the murder of her sister. You're not just going to love the gameplay of June's Journey, you're going to be all in on the story. I'm telling you, after a little bit of playing, you're going to be invested. There's always something happening in the game. You progress through the story and discover new chapters. You can also take part in events to earn additional in-game prizes. Whether you're playing alone or in a club, participating in special competitions, or even customizing, remodeling, and fixing your mansion in Garden Island, you're always going to love playing along. And remember, this game is free to play. If you love detective stories, puzzles, and challenging yourself, you are going to love playing June's Journey. I love June's Journey. It is so fun and so mysterious. Download June's Journey for free from the link in the description or by scanning our QR code. June's Journey is available on iOS and Android mobile devices as well on PC.
You're crazy.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Viall Files Reality Recap Edition. I am your host, Nick, and there's some people who are following us that are a little perturbed, I think, with me. I'm not sure. You're probably asking, oh, of course. And then you're like, well, which thing did I do that they're mad about? There's probably so many. It could, like, who knows, right? Like, you never really know.
To piss people off.
I live to piss people off. Some of you know, maybe some of you don't. We are remodeling the lake house. It is under construction. The concrete has been poured.
I don't know if we can say remodel because we did fully tear it down.
We did fully tear it down.
Like it is a tear down.
Yeah.
And a rebuild.
Renovate.
Yeah, I thought you guys were just adding
So
some
did
So
I.
here's,
So did the
here's what
internet.
happened. And then the people listening, now if you're listening, you're like, did Nick tear down his grandfather's lake house? To which I answer, yeah, I tore down my house. It was my house. I can do whatever I want with it. Well, Sierra, you have this look on your you have this look of disgust on your face.
This is all news to me. And it's not a look of disgust. I'm just like, wait, that's not what I thought either.
I know.
I thought you guys were just picking out some tile,
Well, we definitely picked up some tile.
getting some new mattresses. I
No,
didn't
we
realize
took that bitch to the ground.
Yeah, we.
where are your parents staying?
So
Who?
they're camping. They're camping.
In
No,
the
you
lake.
ain't
We got them
front.
a rental.
okay.
They're in a rental.
kicked
They're in
them
a
out.
house.
They kicked them out. I said, get out. It's my house. No, we had been, so like we got the lake house a couple years ago, and it was this beautiful, it was great to be back. After being there, it was very much like a trying to figure out what exactly about this place like means so much to me, right? And like when we were going back and forth between trying to get the house back, we were also looking at other lake property on the lake because it was like we didn't know if my grandfather's house was available at the time, and then I was like, I really want to be back on the lake. But then we thankfully got it, and then we were back on the lake, and quickly realized that like it was the land itself, like where the property is located on the lake is quite exquisite and stunning and beautiful and a perfect view of like the sunset and things like that. And the house was like nicely preserved. It was like very much, there's a lot about that house that like I remembered as like a 9-year-old, but it's an old fucking house. And
Right.
so we were just like, it was like totally fine. And then, but we were like quickly wanted to like remodel it. I now that we're back on the lake, I want to invest in the future. Like now that we have river and hopefully we are lucky enough to grow our family, but like I really want to invest in this place. And when we go back to the lake, it's really like nice to be there, but like there's like yellow water in the showers, and it's like kind of
There's some plumbing issues.
It's like an old house, and it's like it's clean water. It's like high in iron or whatever. Like I don't know what it is. Like
smells like pennies.
Smells like pennies.
Nice.
You're just. It's like fine. So we first were looking to remodel the house. Like that was the ultimate goal, to remodel the house. We brought a builder out. We went through a bunch of different plans. We were like having all these crazy ideas. We were like going to lift the ceiling up, and it was like then the builder the whole time was like, honestly, it's like a really old house, and I just think maybe just might make the most sense to just like start over. And I was like, I don't really want to do that. Like there's obviously some like sentiment here. And so finally we went back and forth, and I like had this vision of what exactly I wanted the house with. And it was like, we're going to keep this part of the house and we're going to add on to it. So it was really just kind of take the inspiration of like the original house, the layout, and really make it bigger and grander, because I want space. I want my parents to like feel my parents live there and they take care of the place. But like when we are there, I want it to feel like our house as well. Right. And so I want my parents to have their own master bedroom and master bathroom and walk-in closet. And then on the other side of the house, Natalie and I have our own master bedroom, walk-in closet, master bathroom. And I want it to be like a sanctuary, and I want it to be like a spa. And I want it to be wonderful and nice and fucking good. And anyway, so yeah, first it was meant to be a remodel. And so the design of the house is basically inspired by the original layout of the house.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like the stairs, where the stairs were located in the original house, is the exact same place where the stairs are located in the new house. And then we actually have a kitchen downstairs, which is going to be like a lakeside kitchen for when we entertain, but it's going to be a really nice one upstairs. And that downstairs kitchen is going to be in the same spot. So very long story shorter, even longer story made to be shorter. As once we
It's
started
not being made shorter.
Very long story made
very
normal
long, very long
story.
story
It's a podcast.
remaining
Shut the
to
fuck
be
up.
long story.
My long story is still a long story. So anyways, we were going to save this and save that. And like, they were tearing things down, and they were just like, it just, this doesn't make
Just an old
sense.
house.
Just tear it down. And like, again, to me, it's like the property is what has the meaning behind it. I was very grateful that when we bought the house back, it was preserved. Like it was very cool to have lost the house when I was like 9 years old and got it back, and have much of the house being like what I remembered. They had remodeled it. They had done some additions. They had done some little projects, but it very much like looked like the house. And that was cool. But now that I am the owner, it was just like, people upgrade their house, people remodel their house, people change their house. It's just like, I'm not going to live in an outdated old house if I can make it better just because like my grandfather like started it. People upgrade their houses all the time. So
Wait,
there's some
so just to clarify, you did tear down the whole house.
I tore down the whole house.
It's okay. One day, Nick will be the grandfather, and he can give it to his grandchildren.
Who can
And
also
they
tear
can
it
decide
down.
if they want to tear it down.
if my
and then
great-grandchild-
River's daughter is going to be like, you know what?
Shit's dated.
Some
I'm
would,
done with this.
some would say
Yes.
the history stopped and started with Nick.
And period.
I mean, again, like my goal for the house is like, it's going to be quite much bigger, and I want it to be our family house. I want it to be a place that we can comfortably entertain my brothers and sisters, like family and friends. When we go up there, my parents don't like feel like lived out, like pushed out, their space. Like I'm investing in the future, like right. Like honestly, now that
He's
I'm
an
a
innovator.
I'm a new dad, I'm like the next 20 years of my life, I'm really leaning in. I'm really like, it's all about making the next 20 years like as magical and
Why
as
only
fun as
20?
possible.
I'll be 40.
5, 6.
46.
Yeah, well, then you could start the next chapter of your life over because we'd pretty much be dead.
Oh my
I'm
God.
just kidding. I know a lot of people have thoughts and feelings. They were Natalie posted some pictures of the project, and we got a couple how dare yous.
Mm.
Really?
The art history in me is quaking right now.
The what?
The art history in me.
What do you mean the art history?
Because I studied art history, and I'm like, you just tore down a whole like artifact of your history. But that being said, it's your history. You didn't buy someone else's house.
Well,
and-
the concrete steps that have the engraving of my mom's names and my uncle's names is still being preserved. We're saving that. There's so many places in the yard that are very much preserved. But like, yeah, we didn't keep the old shitty pipes and like the moldy whatever the fuck or whatever. And we decided instead of like having, to work around this like low 8-foot ceiling or 7-foot ceiling that was like what they did in 1965, we just said we're going to make our own goddamn house, and it's going to be inspired by the original house, and it's going to be a beautiful piece of property on my family's piece of land.
Well, congrats.
Anyways, yeah.
Is
Anyways.
there a room for us in this remodel?
There's
slash-
definitely room.
Are you invited? Is the question.
Right.
That
Oh my
silence
God.
was
We could do like a
loud.
class. We could do a class trip.
Yeah, I mean,
A field
eventually,
trip?
you
Class
know,
trip?
I hope.
I heard we're building rooms and
There
we're
will
adding
be a
stuff.
there will be
so
a studio there, so it's like we could
Yeah, it'll be a
everyone come
studio.
out for a field trip and
I'll
we
go to the
record
hotel
some
after, okay.
episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you check into the Motel 6 down the street
Right.
because
Oh.
there's
I decided not to be burdened by what has been.
Wow.
Well, yeah.
Do Justin and I get bunk beds?
Maybe.
well, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
And then there's me. Is there a Four Seasons nearby?
There is not.
there are
There's
a couple. There are a couple
Walmart.
of my mom every once in a while will give us a.
Oh.
But she's happy with her giant new bedroom and closet and
Mm.
bathroom and
You have to keep the materials and build
professional
something,
kitchen.
build
What?
something else. keep the brick and make something else, you know?
Yeah,
Fireplace.
we kept some stuff, honestly, like, you gotta, I'm not a hoarder. You gotta just move, you know, you can't be attached to stuff like that. The land is truly what makes that place special and beautiful. And
And the memories, you know, you don't throw out the memories.
Nope.
well,
You keep 'em.
you'll know where you are in the house. Like, it's like the stairs are in the exact same spot. It'll look like, am I crazy? You look like you're judging me.
Well, the stairs are in the same spot.
You sound like Marie Kondo.
Mhm.
She would
Who's
say the
that?
same. The organizer?
Yeah.
She's
Throw
like,
away
you
anything
have
that
to
doesn't bring you joy.
like thank it
Yeah.
for what it's
Oh.
given you and send it away. You'll never
Yeah,
forget
I
the
just
memories.
don't like. Why would we? It would be ridiculous to like try to build around and work around this old construction. It just didn't make any sense. Just for like sentimental purposes. Well, forget about what I did wrong, listeners. Your real vitriol should be directed towards James Kennedy, because if you have not heard, he's best friends with the Tate brothers.
But doesn't know who
Well,
they are.
I don't. Yeah, he did retract his photo by saying he did not know who they were. He thought they were podcasters who were just fans of Vanderpump.
One of the brothers responded.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yeah.
no! What did they say?
Calling bullshit. So for those of you guys don't know, the Tate brothers are.
Awful.
Yeah, I didn't know there were brothers. I just thought there was the one.
Could you imagine?
It's worse
Fuck,
that there are
there's-
two.
no,
That was
there's
scary to
worse.
learn.
Anyways,
yeah.
they're without trying to waste too much energy talking about them. They a lot of toxicity. They might be the poster children for toxic masculinity or anything toxic. I mean, they've been arrested for, I think, trafficking and some other horrific things. I don't know. They seem like bad news. I don't really want to.
Research at your own discretion.
I mean, I turned down a selfie with Jax Taylor way back when because I was worried about the optics. Taking a picture with the Tate brothers is a whole new level. And given James Kennedy, I like to call him Ike Kennedy's recent past with his alleged violence towards his ex-girlfriend, I think the selfie that he took with the Tate brothers was, some might say, the company he was keeping at least seemed to
Tracked.
align with his past alleged behavior in
Hmm.
the worst possible way. But then James quickly denied. What did he write? He denied
said
it.
on an Instagram story, he said, I regret posting a photo with the Tate brothers at an event last night. I was unfamiliar with their content and the allegations against them. I only knew them as podcasters that had posted a viral clip about Vanderpump. I have since educated myself and condemned their beliefs. I am sorry to all that I have offended.
Then the less famous brother responded to James's denial of knowing the brothers, and he wrote, begged and kissed my ass for 30 minutes straight and called me a hero. He knew exactly who I was and what content I made. He's just then he offends them, and then says, fuck this guy. Who knows who to believe, so to speak. Not that either of them or either party is in.
I mean, I feel like the Tate brother has less of a reason to lie, and
True.
James has more of a reason.
I will
to
say,
lie.
none of it really makes sense, right? Because if you're James, it's like, how do you not know who these guys are? Especially like whether you went into this event, there seemed to be some event, or like he was in a Vegas event. I don't know. Maybe it was.
I don't know how he still has his residency in Vegas. but
Maybe it
that's
was a
story for
UFC
another time.
thing, but like even if you don't know who these guys are,
Someone
when they walk into a
does.
room, like they're making enough of a scene that someone's being like, yeah, it's them.
Yeah.
And who's them? It's like, well, they've done. It's like, so that doesn't make sense. Then he posts the selfie.
What did he write on the selfie? Didn't he
Something
write?
about Bitcoin. I
Yeah,
don't
so I was
know.
like, so you know that they like.
I guess you know.
That's a Bitcoin.
It's like they're into Bitcoin, but you don't know that they were arrested for like trafficking, human trafficking. I
There's
believe.
absolutely no way he didn't know. who
Anyways,
the
then he
Tate brothers
posts
were.
a denial, and it's just like, but like, own it. I don't. It doesn't make.
I just know that he takes selfies with fans and things like that. He's not reposting them, and you made the effort to post this to your own story. So it's like that would mean you were excited about these people.
Do we remember the angle of the picture? Was it like James taking
Yeah,
it? It was
It
James,
was James
taking the
it,
selfie.
and the two brothers are on
Yeah.
the side
Yeah.
of him.
I'm really, really looking forward to Lisa Vanderpump's excuse for James. That should be fun. Yeah, that'll be really, really interesting.
Well, Gypsy Rose is out and about, and
I'm
she's
a little offended that she was in Los Angeles and didn't reach out to us. Her and Ken
Well-
will randomly like send us a picture of their growing family.
maybe they're done with us.
It could be.
She got a new haircut, and maybe she is like,
It looks
fuck
good.
these bitches. I'm a new woman.
She got a bob. She's sassy now.
She got a Karen Bob.
She got a fuck ass Bob. I love it.
She was asked by like a reporter recently, like, did you see that Casey Anthony is giving legal advice? And she was like, I don't think Casey should be giving legal advice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
To Gypsy's credit, I remember when I first met her, I was kind of like, hey, Gypsy, would you ever be interested in doing a true crime podcast? And she quickly was like, ew, no. Like, she has no interest in true
leaning
crime.
in.
Which, I mean, at the time, I didn't know anything about her other than, we just interviewed her.
Yeah.
I shamelessly was like, hey, you want to do a true crime podcast? And I didn't really know, but I didn't really know what her response would be, and I didn't really have an opinion on what her response should be. But after she gave that response of kind of being like, no, I want nothing to do with it, it made me appreciate her more, because I didn't put much thought into it. But once she gave that response, it was a normal response to be like, I don't want anything to do with this true crime community. I think the true crime community, has made her life quite honestly a living hell. I was talking with our friend of show, Emily Baker, our official, unofficial legal correspondent of the Viall Files. And I was talking to her about like true crime podcasts in general, or just that space. And she was, again, like with podcasting in general, it's kind of like the Wild West. There's no like rules. People kind of come up with their own standards, and things get a little hairy and dicey, especially in the true crime podcast space when true crimers are discussing unsolved cases.
Yep.
And there's like always like this insane amount of speculation. Look at, not to get into it, but the Justin and Blake of it all is just like, it's not a, murder case or anything like that, but it's unsolved. We don't know and now there's just like theory after theory after theory after theory. And like, fine, say what you want about the Blake and Justin of it all, but some of these true crime cases like involve like murder and sexual violence. And for true crimers out there to be like coming up with their fun theories and speculation about like family members and friends who, assuming they aren't guilty of whatever crimes being discussed, are dealing with this very terrible tragedy. And then you have all these like wannabe detectives and true crime experts going out and coming up with theory after theory. It's kind of like disgusting and horrifying.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of the true crime people out there do a great job and have like some, standards, and they do try to police themselves to like have tact, but I think there's a lot who don't. And I remember like having that quick discussion with Gypsy at the time, and it made a lot of sense, because I think she's been so turned off by just people like that having all these theories and speculations and coming up with the stuff that's completely out of pocket, and for the people involved, probably incredibly hurtful.
Absolutely.
To hear about. So
it is crazy that Casey Anthony was like, I'm just going to pop in on TikTok and see like what the fans are doing these days. It's like, girl.
When that woman talks, it's something dark.
And then she's now suing like for the comments. Who is she suing?
She's suing, or she's threatening
I
to
think
sue?
she's threatened to sue. She was pretty much saying like, your words have weight, so heed what you're saying, because anything that's defamation or libel in the state of Florida, it doesn't matter. The jurisdiction's here, so I can sue you for.
She works for a law firm.
She
seems to be
Who
well
hired Casey Anthony?
That's
Not Nancy Grace.
Who the fuck hired her? Who was like, yes, we want her on our team?
Yeah, Nancy Grace. She was.
She got that Bob back, and she said
what did she say?
she's just saying what everyone's thinking, which is that it's a money grab. Her new legal advocacy.
She says, I am a legal advocate. I am a researcher. I've been in the legal field since 2011, and in this capacity, I feel that it's necessary, if I'm going to continue to operate appropriately as a legal advocate, that I start to advocate for myself and also advocate for my daughter. As a proponent for the LGBTQ community, for our legal community and women's rights, I feel that it's important that I use this platform that was thrust upon me, and now look as a blessing.
LGBTQ community?
Because she's an ally, I guess, to everybody but her own family. I don't know. It's really dark.
Well, she says she's going to look at it now as a blessing, as opposed to the curse that it has been since 2008.
Someone commented under her video, and it was like the most liked comment, and it said, Casey Anthony saying she's a legal advocate is like Jeffrey Dahmer opening up a steakhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And that hit the internet.
Yeah.
It resonated with people.
It did.
Yeah.
It was just shockwave.
Imagine if Jeffrey Dahmer, is he still living?
No.
He's not.
Babe.
He's dead.
Mm.
Honey, I mean, come on. There's too much in this brain, like beauty and humor and
Yes.
humbleness.
Yeah.
But imagine if he like got out of prison for some reason and then was like, I bought a franchise of Outback. People would be like,
Outback.
Yeah.
the fuck?
Well, I mean, OJ did write If I Did It.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So it's
Well, OJ
not. This is not unprecedented.
OJ has always leaned in and like dabbled on like the very thin line. I
It
feel
worked,
like.
and it kind of worked for him. I'm not saying it was a good thing, but it did work for him going forward. And maybe Casey Anthony is attempting to kind of get what OJ got afterwards, but
I mean,
I don't know if it's
people-
gonna work.
Listen, people like a spectacle,
Mhm.
and the internet is full of spectacles. And
Well, speaking of spectacle, did you see that the cop who arrested Justin Timberlake for the DWI was named like Officer of the Year?
they're really pro Britney over in that town, in that jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you think it's only because he arrested Justin Timberlake?
It had to be,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, I mean it's Sag Harbor, the Hamptons, so I'm like, there's got to be a lot of
You don't think there's a lot of crime going
that's like
on
white
in the
collar
Hamptons?
crime that can't talk about, but they're like, we did arrest Justin Timberlake and made the news.
He was honored for making an immediate impact during his first year on the job,
Oh, that was his first year, and he arrested Justin Timberlake.
and he brought out the
Wow.
"this is going to ruin the tour."
Well,
This is gonna ruin the tour.
Well, we have a big week lined up for you all on the Viall Files. Before we talk about this coming week, don't forget that Dylan Efron's Going Deeper episode dropped last Friday, and it is a must-listen, must-watch episode you will all want to make sure you check out. Today's episode is going to continue to be wacky and fun. We have Harvey Guillén with us, star of What We Do in the Shadows. He's also in the new movie Companion. He's also a big Housewives fan, and we are excited to talk with him all things Housewives coming up, as well as we have Britney from Traitors joining us later this episode to talk about her scandalous exit and her voting for Danielle. I'm honestly, a lot of people are thanking her for really the only drama that we were given in the finale, even though it was sweet and everyone got along and all the faithful one together. It was a little boring. Britney is with us to talk about her shakeup in the castle. And then we have this week on Going Deeper on Wednesday, Will and Emmy from Southern Hospitality. Will did not show up for the reunion. Well, he did show up for the reunion, but did not go on stage. He does show up here, we think. I don't know. He's supposed to show up later today. We will sit down with Will and Emmy to talk about their whole season, their relationship, the rumors, the nastiness, all the things going on about them and their season of Southern Hospitality. That is this Wednesday. And then Thursday is jam-packed as well. We have Heather McDonald is joining us. I was on Heather McDonald's show last week. We debated Justin and Blake. Not sure if we'll talk a lot of Housewives with Heather, maybe a little Justin and Blake. South by Southwest is going on. A lot of movie premieres. Blake and the rest of her cast was there premiering their new movie, Another Simple Favor. So Blake's out and about, and then the fans were trolling as the fans do. I just find it fascinating that for all the hardcore Justin stands out there, one of the rumors they like to throw out, or the theories, is the attraction that they allege Blake having for Justin. And it's just like, wait a second, if she was going to have a thing for
it would
any
be
of
with
her,
Michael motherfucking Maroney.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that guy, he is sex.
Have you ever seen 365 on Netflix?
I've heard you talk about it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
365 on Netflix.
You've never seen
It
that?
is. Oh my god, you haven't seen it?
I've seen a
Sarah.
lot of memes.
What?
You haven't seen the
Holy
scenes?
shit!
If
The
you haven't
yacht
seen
scene.
You haven't seen the scenes?
The yacht scene
yacht
is
scene?
yacht scening, and
Yahtzee?
the yacht. Well,
It's same thing.
the yacht scene
Oh, it's
with
Yahtzee.
him and
Yahtzee at the yacht scene.
I don't remember the female actress that he is in this scene with, but let me tell you, if
Horny?
you ever need a moment, well, I don't know if it would be.
Good work.
Will it?
Yeah.
Okay. If you
It's-
ever need a
it's
moment,
so hot.
Is she
maybe.
enjoying it?
oh my god!
Okay.
I mean, it is
Well-
full on. Well, in the sex scene, she definitely
She
seems
is,
to
yes.
be. Yeah,
What do
yeah,
you
yeah. The
think?
yacht scene,
Very aggressive.
very
scenes.
sexy. Listen, if they would have put that sex energy into Baby Girl, I feel like Baby Girl would have been a lot more popular.
Anyways, the rest of my case. It's good to see Blake out and about.
I'm excited for a new Paul Feig movie. I really love him.
And he loves Blake.
And he loves shutting down a rumor
Yeah, he's
He
a very
does.
talented
What was
and
the rumor
funny
he
guy.
was shutting down?
that Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick were like beefing, and he said that was incorrect or wrong or something. I mean, Anna Kendrick definitely does lean in to the narrative. She was asked like, "What does it mean to be working with Blake again?"
She
and
goes, "Oh,
she
you know."
responds with, "Oh, you know."
She didn't,
She didn't say, "Lovely, it's amazing,"
which is what Blake's response was.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Anna's so dry too that you can never tell if it's just like her sarcasm or if it's like a shade or who. You know.
Yeah. that's
Also,
true.
like, I don't know, maybe two coworkers not being best friends isn't like whatever. I mean, it's
Like, I fucking hate Mary.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
She gave nothing.
Wow. Oh, you know.
Well,
I thought you were talking about Miriam Cosby.
The Love is Blind finale and reunion have come and gone, and we only have one married couple. But good for them. You know, what started off with "Are you stalking me?" has turned into the
Invisible string.
Yeah,
Oh.
the what is the remind me what the invisible string is again?
That you always have like a tie to your person. Like it doesn't have to be romantic. It could just be like familiar too, but it's like it will always bring you back to the person, or like you're meant to eventually like, meet up with them so that everything clicks in
Where do you
place.
think our invisible string is like attached to?
What do you? I don't still don't understand the
mine.
metaphor.
It's a Taylor Swift song.
Well, no, I mean
Oh, then.
it's a theory before Taylor Swift.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's all.
But it's just like you guys have an invisible string.
We have one.
The invisible
Yes.
string theory is a belief that people are destined to meet and are reconnected by and are connected by invisible string. It's based on fate spirituality. The theory suggests that people are often hidden from each other, but will meet when the universe deems it right.
I rest
So it's
my
almost like
case.
being at the same place at the same time. For example, I ran into Connor at a bar when I was with my ex-boyfriend a long time ago. He remembered me, didn't remember him. And I was like, who was that? Connor, somebody's ex-boyfriend. Okay, cool. Never saw him again. But it's like we've been at the same parties. We've been through life together, but we weren't together. Stayed at the same Coachella house 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think it's our fat asses.
You think that's where the string's connected to? Our assholes?
Y'all are hilarious.
Like
that
it
was
was
really funny.
pulled together.
Well,
it's just
we
our
weren't,
butts touching?
We weren't, thankfully, at the same parties 15 years ago.
Oh, thank God for that.
To clarify, I think the invisible string is a string to your soul, not a physical part of your body.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it was
Maybe
something like our
their souls
heart.
are in
Maybe
their
it was
ass.
a desire for our fat asses then in our souls.
Is Natalie doing something with your fat ass?
I want to be clear. I
Yeah.
also have a
Yeah.
fat ass. Yeah.
Yeah, and
This
what am
is-
I doing to your fat
Wait.
ass?
Whatever you
Not
want,
I
baby.
also have.
Wow.
I just don't want anyone to think I'm objectifying my wife.
He's objectifying himself
I'm
as well.
objectifying myself too. Yeah. Anyways.
Anyways.
String. Congratulations to Taylor and Danielle for giving Minneapolis the only reason to root for them.
Honestly, they work together. When they were
They did
showing their
work.
pictures of
Mhm.
them like out and about in the world, they look really cute together. They've bought their first home. Like,
The inflatables of his Uncle Sam and her as the evil.
Can I say something? Mostly to you, a little bit to you.
Uh-oh.
oh my God.
I'm sorry.
For what?
My point still stands about sex.
Oh, the Dave
Wow,
apology.
the truth came out.
Not necessarily the truth, but my point still stands. I do think Lauren was misguided. I think she didn't. I didn't think Lauren put herself in the best possible position to be successful on this show. That's all I'm saying. I think she should have considered the environment she was going into, and then like thought how things might have played out. That being said, like Dave's is so full of shit.
Yes.
You know, it's just like when he came out there at the reunion and was like, Lauren's the one who got away. Motherfucker. Like, and it dawned on me, like, I don't fault Dave for having been thrown off by the revelation of Lauren's relationship coming into this relationship. But the fact that, like, to your both's point, like, he ended that relationship with, he didn't even get to the altar. You know what I'm saying? He didn't even go through their motions. You know, there's one thing to be rattled, but to like break up, it was definitely, he definitely uses an excuse.
100%. Not giving the letter to his sister, not letting her meet his family, believing his friends over his fiance.
Not even like a phone call. He wouldn't even let Lauren like talk to her on the phone.
Yeah.
He
And
couldn't
then, and then for him to show up at the reunion and pretend that she's the one who got away, and Lauren being like, "You motherfucker had my number the whole fucking time."
She was
It's
like, "We've been at bars together, and you've
got
never
away. I'm
come
right
over and
here.
said anything."
You could have bought me a goddamn drink.
I literally can't run away. There's only 6 bars in our area.
Well,
Yeah.
you didn't listen to my advice at the reunion. You decided to pull this whole fucking stunt.
Neither did Alex because he did not grow a beard.
Yeah.
You know, I think he actually shaved more off for the
He did
reunion.
grow
Matt-
more hair on his head.
Madison has a whole new look. She went from,
Pink back to blonde.
but the
Hey,
blonde looks nice though. It
there's
looks
nothing wrong with going
You
from
look
pink
great.
back to blonde. I've done that before.
I just feel like it's a little dangerous to her hair now.
It is.
Okay.
And like it's great for 3 months and then you're like, oh no.
I think
Yeah.
she overtoned it. It was like a color conditioner.
oh.
She wanted to like be spicy in the
Remember
moment.
when
the
you
pink or
went-
the blonde?
All of it.
Well, I thought her hair looked nice. It is like just hard to keep up with because we saw 3 different versions of Madison in a short period of time. I know that like the power of cameras and timing, like she probably felt like this was like just normal,
It has been a year.
No, that's what I'm saying. It has been a year, but for us, it was like, Jesus Christ, I can't keep up with this girl. Fuck. She is so fucking messy. Does anyone believe anything that comes out of that woman's mouth?
It's hard when like 3 of the relationships have issues with her. Like it's really hard to watch Monica and Joey like have this issue of her being like texting with Joey and then meeting him at the bar and then like all of these issues and then
and Madison kind of told on herself because she's like, well, it's how I feel. When anyone like is like going back and forth in an argument and then they have nothing left but just being like, but guys, it is how I felt. And that's really the only argument they have left, which is like, we can't, we are all entitled to our feelings. That is a fact. But like if all you have are your feelings and then like no facts or really like, statements of truth or anything like that, but just the fact that you felt a certain way and was hurt by someone else for some reason, and then that's your justification for doing whatever it is you said or did, that seems to be Madison. It's just like, but I was hurt. It's like, no, I'm sure you were, but like that doesn't justify any of these things that you're like allegedly did. And then like her receipts, I was just confused. So according to her, Alex basically like he didn't
I think she was trying to prove that Alex was like talking shit, but the only proof that she has or brought with her was that him saying
emojis
that Meg and Mason are back together, melty face emoji. She thought that was important to include, which honestly I love that emoji. I think it's very fun.
It's one of my favorites.
And then to say like, and they wore their reveal outfits when they first met each other.
Face. Like I'm dead. Like ha ha ha. My friends are so goofy. Like they're so silly and fun. Dead.
But it's like she was trying to.
Well, how is that How is that him talking shit?
She tried to do like the blanket statement because there was one specific text where it was, I told you a lot of the stuff in confidence that wasn't meant for other people to hear, and now I feel like a bad guy. I'm just going to go back to only saying nice things about people no matter what. So she's trying to be like, and that's because everything you said.
Yeah, it's like, well, and that's all referring to all the shit you said about Mason. It's like, well, where is the shit he said about Mason?
Yeah.
Where is all of that? Because he said that Mason was weird and had no friends. And she said that he said, fuck Mason or fuck you, Mason or something. Where is that proof? Like,
and why it also like it felt like this particular reunion, it felt like all the ladies taking their turn on everyone but our happily engaged Taylor. And then Lauren was also.
I don't think it was all the ladies, honestly. I think it was just Madison
Monica,
and Sarah that I had.
Madison and Sarah.
Virginia didn't have a problem.
Well, particularly Monica, Madison, and Sarah all like took their respective turns on trying to tell their story and why they think they deserve the Ariana Madix treatment. That seems to be the new thing on reality TV sometimes, where it's just like they want to give their pitch on why they feel the most scorned or why they were the most unfairly treated by their breaker-up counterpart, and they want the sympathy of the audience to get the all the ad campaigns.
I will say I disagree with Sarah trying to come after Ben, trying to like paint this whole like you were very scripted and I don't believe you. Like I think if you don't break up on bad terms, like they seem to just like not have like the most aligned values, maybe is really the reason they didn't end up together. And it's like, clearly they were in some sort of communication. So it's like, for him to say, hey, I think we should like get on the same page, get on good terms before reunion is like the most respectful way to go about, like, that was someone that he was engaged to. And if there's any issues, it's like, let's work through these not on national television. Like we left this relationship with equal respect for each other. So like, why out all of this shit on national television?
Why does that make him a bad guy?
If we could just work through it right now.
Because it sure felt like their versions were just more like he had a version of a breakup where there were some maybe hurt feelings and she had a version. But it felt like both their versions included them being like normal people where no one really did anything.
My confusion, though, is that I'm like, how does one person think that somebody's moving to Nashville and the other person thinks they're broken up?
Yeah.
I'm with Sarah on this one.
That's
I'm
where
with
I'm like,
Sarah
it sounds
well.
like they had a conversation that he was supposed to move down and then he ghosted her. then doesn't talk to her for a while, comes back with an apology.
Well, the ghosting
No,
seemed
yeah,
to be unclear.
she was like, why did you take me off Find My Friends? And he was like, I'm sorry I took you off Find My Friends, but like we're broken up. Like I can't be tracking you all the time. I can't have you tracking me. Like we're broken up. So I'm so sorry, blah, 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 whatever. She felt like that was a very scripted apology and didn't feel like that was real. And then he texts her before reunion being like, hey, we should get on the same page.
What it seemed to me of like what the kind of issue with the reunion thing is that it was he had talked to Jimmy, right?
Yes.
And it was because of Jimmy's advice that he
Jimmy
thought
from previous.
Jimmy from previous season
Chelsea
said that he should
Out of all
get on
people.
better terms with Sarah,
Which I
which I
don't
think
think-
she probably took.
Why is that
a
bad?
But I
bad
don't think
way.
that's bad either. I think all of these people who go on this show have a very like personal experience. It's very hard. I think they go from normal life to filming. A year later, it airs. The whole fucking internet has an opinion about them. So I think like them leaning on past cast members, especially Jimmy, who did kind of go through a very public breakup with Chelsea. They had some issues. He went to the reunion. She kind of came after him. I don't think he left the reunion feeling very well. So I feel like Ben reaching out to Jimmy or anyone from previous seasons isn't like a negative thing.
I don't think it's a bad thing.
I appreciate all these people trying to give us good dramatic TV, but it really feels like that. Like they're just trying. Like there's nothing really here. Like there's nothing really happened. There's maybe some hurt feelings. Maybe someone could have communicated a little better or a little bit more effectively, or could have been a little bit more upfront. But there's always like when you're really upfront, then you get accused of being a dick. You know, and all I'm saying is when it comes to breakups, did really something wrong here? Like, is he allowed to decide not to move to Nashville after maybe agreeing to moving to Nashville? Or is that like a life contract of some kind?
I think
Like,
the
are
issue
you-
is she felt disrespected because
No,
it's like
I don't doubt it. But like people feel disrespected all the time. And that's kind of my point is like feeling disrespected isn't a crime.
I was like,
But no one's saying it's a crime at the reunion. They're just arguing at the reunion
Yeah.
for TV.
I was to say my point was that the only reason he reached out was to rewrite the history of what happened. So I think that's where she was like, you only reached out. And if you look at what Ben said, everything he said was scripted. Like every answer was him saying the same thing, but in a different way, using the same buzzwords. So it's like, she was like, you only reached out to me to like be on the same page, but we're not even on the same page of what happened.
I think Ben knew he was not going to get out of that reunion
hmm
in a good light. So he was like, let me just say the basic, like, yep, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry I hurt you. This is my version of things. This is how it played out for me.
Yeah.
And I feel like he wasn't in a place where he could be like, let's argue with this woman on national television, because that's kind of like what he texted her to do over text or over phone or in person or on FaceTime before the reunion. So neither of them had to do it on national television, which I honestly respect. If there was no neither of them did anything wrong, right? Like, you know, they left on good terms. There was some obviously confusion of like who's going to Nashville, who's not, whatever, like a little ghosting on, it seems like both of their ends. But I don't see anything wrong with him being like, let's just like not air out all of our dirty laundry in front of the world. Let's do it with each other and get on, like, this is all that matters is me and you at the end of the day. So like, let's get on good terms. Let's crush whatever beef we have and like go to the reunion and be like, we're good.
I also don't think it's like, I don't think she's obligated to be on good terms with him.
She's
No,
not obligated,
no.
but like it is a little.
But I think
mean,
it was like offered as like, well, if I'm trying to be on good terms, and like you automatically have to also be on good terms.
Not necessarily, but I look at it the other way. I look at it as she found it to be potentially financially beneficial for her not to be on good terms with Ben.
this
Well,
is
we don't know that.
We don't. You're right, but we also don't know his motives either. I'm just saying, like,
this is the guy that was leaving his business card for his YouTube videos, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
just wanted
Yeah,
to make
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Just
Yeah.
double check that.
Clog the old
Just wanted-
memory.
a little douchey, whatever. I'm just saying, like, we can sit here and like poke fun. I just think there's a big difference between some of these like accusations being thrown around this reunion versus like, you know, Raven back in the day when she was like being two-time. But that's kind of my point. It's just like there's no real meat on these bones, right? There's there's like the worst accusation here is you were going to move and then you decided
No, it was
not
that
to
everything
move.
was scripted and nothing was genuine.
But I agree.
Is-
I agree with your interpretation. I think he looked like a guy who was, I'm not going to argue with her because I'm not going to win here.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
no one's going to have my side. I'm not going to raise my voice and get into it with Sarah on the couch. I'll just like, you know,
I'll
say
give
I
you
was,
that one.
I'll say I was wrong and like you
Mhm.
can think what you want because I'm not going to win. And honestly, that was probably the smart move because he's.
I do wish they would have given Joey's sister a mic because she seemed like she wanted to get real vocal
Yeah.
when Monica was coming at him. But Virginia and Devin
was interesting how she was basically like, I know he's not comfortable talking about his beliefs on camera, and I'm not comfortable repeating his beliefs on camera, but I will tell you what my beliefs are, which I feel like was the shadiest way.
Very classy, very shady,
Virginia.
very good.
Yes. Also, she talked about like, what was this whole check thing that like his mom wrote a check for them to get
$1,000
married?
check. His mom's boss.
Wrote a check for the wedding, and she never knew of the check until after. And so she never saw the check. And she was like, I'm not saying you pocketed the money, but like I didn't even know that existed. So
It is a weird thing to not mention. I feel like anytime we got any sort of money for our wedding, whether it's from my family, Nick's family, a mutual friend, it was like, oh my God, look, they sent us $100. How nice. It was a conversation we had with each other. So I think Devin not telling her was definitely a little red flaggy.
And it was like days before too. Like she ran into somebody's mom or something like that who told her. So she was kind of like, well, is he going to tell me about it? No.
I don't know.
He
He
did
could
say,
have definitely forgotten.
well, he said he was waiting until he was after they were married to tell her, which
I mean, it's not that hard to believe that he had a million things running through his mind, and the check that his mom's boss wrote for.
You don't think he's
$1,000.
like, oh, I signed this prenup. That means everything's going to be both of ours the second we marry. So maybe I'll just keep this to myself.
I think that's
Well,
exactly it.
well, when did he cash the check?
I don't know when he
Well, that
cashed the
matters, though.
check. No one ever said when he cashed the check.
But it was alleged that he hadn't cashed it yet. It seemed, my understanding, he had not cashed it.
I think Virginia.
And I'm just saying, if you have the prenup theory, that theory doesn't work. Because if he cashes it after they're married, then they're sharing it.
No, he was going to tell her after they were married that he got the check.
But when did he cash the check?
I don't know.
I think,
I don't
That's the
know.
issue.
I'm
She
not his
doesn't
bank
know.
account. I am not Wells
Yeah.
Fargo. AD and Ollie are engaged.
they were cute.
Did that ruin Perfect Match? Or
I mean,
I
How does that work?
I guess, congratulations, but thanks.
The way I was so
Spoiler.
confused, I was like, are they hosting the next season? And then I had to like Google and it's like, no, they're on the upcoming season. And then Vanessa's asking him.
I guess honestly, they were probably like, listen, we're ready to get engaged. Like, so either we need to like announce this with y'all or we're going to announce it on our own. But like, our relationship's ready to move forward. And it's not on
Does
the
Perfect-
timeline
of
of
Netflix.
Perfect Match.
Does Perfect Match, like, have they ever had an engaged couple? I don't know if like that's the show.
Not that I know of. Usually it
Yeah.
ends with drama.
Yeah, I feel like
They go on
usually
a
it ends
trip.
with like people voting who the perfect match was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just vote.
And they go on a trip together.
And they win a trip.
Yeah.
Remember, because the random couple came out of nowhere last season.
Oh, yeah.
And
And then
Jess
they
and
never-
Harry, Micah. Who was it? It was like the people
last
who weren't even
episode.
on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ended up
Mhm.
winning. It was
All we
weird.
know is any drama to do with Ollie or AD, just disregard it when you're watching Perfect Match.
Yeah,
'Cause
they're
we know the
good.
outcome.
They're engaged. Nothing to worry about. I will say they do everything in their power on these reunions to just like they'll throw in anything. They'll throw in like a magician if they need to. It's like,
That musical
what is the
performance was something.
concert?
I
It's
fast
Alex
forwarded
Warren,
through
though.
it.
Do you remember guest
What?
Alex Warren?
Alex Warren, he was on our podcast.
Was that Alex Warren?
We did
Yeah.
going deeper
Yeah,
with
we
him.
had him. That was Alex Warren. Even though he does
Okay.
look a lot like Alex, the contestant.
Wow.
Kinda, yeah.
Now it makes sense. That makes sense now. Nice performance. Good for him.
It was that. It was the ad for the if you want to be
The
in
game.
the pods where I'm like,
Cartoon
am I
Nick
playing
and
this with real
Vanessa.
people?
Yeah. And then like all the best moments, which some of it I'm like, why are we bringing this up again? Like,
Sarah Ann, Lauren,
Yeah,
Jeremy, Sarah Ann.
yeah.
That was the top moment, number 3 moment.
I mean, I do remember that.
Oh my
moment.
god.
I think Jessica and
Jimmy
Jimmy
was in
did
2 of 'em.
win.
Well, for whatever you think about season 8's Love Is Blind in Minneapolis, I heard season 9 in Denver is a smash hit,
Really?
full of toxicity and drama.
They need
That's
it.
what I heard.
they do need it.
We'll see if they come through.
I think it might take a while after this season for people to jump on to next season. You know, I think they might be like,
I think
just-
people watched.
Yeah.
We've done worse,
That's true.
you know.
Bachelor seasons have been way worse than this Love Is Blind season.
Speaking of which, we'll talk about the tell-all on Thursday. All right, up next, the hilarious Harvey Guillén. PSA for anyone who rents. If you haven't heard of Built, you're seriously going to thank me for this. Imagine earning points on your rent payments. Yep, you can now do that when you pay your rent through Built. The best part, you don't even need to check with your landlord to get started. You'll earn points that you can use for things like flights, hotels, fitness classes, and even put them toward your next rent payment. Sounds pretty amazing, right? Well, let me break it down for you. There are no costs to join Built. As a member, you'll earn valuable points on rent and on every day spending. Built points can be transferred to your favorite hotels and airlines, even the ones that you haven't heard of. There are over 500 airlines and 700,000 hotels and properties around the world that you can redeem your Built points toward. Points can be redeemed towards a future rent payment and unique experiences that only Built members can access. So if you're not earning points on rent, my question is, why not? Start earning points on rent you're already paying by going to joinbuilt.com/VIALL. That is joinbuilt.com. That's JOINBILT.com/VIALL. Make sure to use our URL so they know that we sent you. Joinbuilt.com/VIALL to start earning points on your rent payments today.
There's nothing worse than waking up with a giant pimple. And listen to this, I'm getting ready for muching to date night with my husband, feeling great when a giant pimple pops right up on my chin. Of course, my 1-year-old looks at me funny, then reaches up to touch it. Thanks for the honesty. My confidence definitely took a little hit, but we still laughed it off. But that's when I decided to sign up for Apostrophe. Feeling confident in your skin starts with getting expert care. Whether you're dealing with acne, signs of aging, or dark spots, Apostrophe helps you get access to the right treatments for your skin. Apostrophe is an online platform that connects you with an expert dermatology team to get customized acne and dermatology treatment for your unique skin. Through Apostrophe, you can get access to oral and topical medications that use clinically proven ingredients to help clear acne. All you do is simply fill out an online consultation about your skin goals and medical history, then snap a few selfies, and a dermatology provider will create a customized treatment plan just for you. Apostrophe offers access to prescription treatments for all types of acne, from hormonal acne to facial acne, and even back, chest, and butt acne. Treat breakouts from head to toe. We have a special deal for our audience. Get your first visit for only $5 at apostrophe.com/VIALL. When you use our code VIALL, that's savings of $15. This code is only available to our listeners. To get started, just go to apostrophe.com/VIALL and click Get Started. Then use our code VIALL at sign up, and you'll get your first visit for only $5. Thank you, Apostrophe, for sponsoring this episode.
Harvey, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Love what we do in the shadows.
Thank you.
Always been a fan. We're also very excited that you're a big Housewives fan.
Oh yeah, huge housewife fan.
What's your
yeah.
favorite?
I'm torn between Salt Lake right now and then Potomac, just because of what's happening. I feel like everyone should just put everyone who's been to prison into like one cell and then like have housewives of, you know.
Housewives of Cell Block 1.
Yeah. And they all have to do like cell block tango.
What
from
if they did like
Chicago.
a prison
all.
housewife?
Yeah.
Someone said this under something, and Andy was like, too soon, like, please.
Oh
don't.
yeah.
Like-
Yeah. They tweeted that or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's too soon. But is it?
It could be.
I'm just
good.
thinking ahead. I'm
Do
thinking
you
of
have
years.
a favorite housewife?
Oh God! I mean, I love Bronwyn
Yes.
from Salt Lake only because we've become friends. They see, and
We're
she's really
friends with Bronwyn too.
She's really lovely,
Yeah,
and
she
I
is.
think out of all of them, she was like, I don't know why they tried to attack her. Like it was just
She's
like
new.
she's new. She came in, she's stylish, she's fabulous, and then all of a sudden they're like, we don't like you, and it's like, what? She didn't do anything.
And she's
So-
richer than them.
At that part, yeah, I
Yeah.
think that was that part.
And she's unbothered, and she's not a follower.
And that's what and I had dinner with her and like Todd, and like it was just like they're just the nicest people.
But you had dinner with her and Todd.
Yeah, we were at a dinner for Christian Siriano in New York,
Of
and so like I
course.
was sitting next to them, and I was like, they're the nicest people, and
I
I
want
was
to have
like,
dinner with Todd.
yeah,
How was Todd?
Todd was lovely.
Yeah.
He's very charming, very like. He's just a nice guy, and just like he's like, you gotta come over and come to the house. I was like, okay, I'm gonna come
He's
over.
like, I
to
have
their
to
house.
show you my Starbucks cup.
Yeah, literally, I was like, I love that. And he's a Dodgers fan. He's a baseball fan, so I think he's going to the game in Tokyo to open the Dodgers. And I was like, I'm a huge fan, and yeah, so
So you're gonna go to the game with him?
I don't know. It's not
No,
official.
No, we're putting it in the air.
I'm
we're
not putting myself into
manifesting.
someone's
If he
jet.
Does he
hears
fly
this-
private?
Like
or
that's
is
what I was
he-
to say. It's just I don't want to put myself into someone's jet.
No,
and
but if
just like,
he
yeah.
hears
If
this,
he hears that
maybe
I
you'll
want to
get a
go,
call.
if you tell me to go, I'll go.
Yeah.
If Todd flew you
Yeah.
private to Japan,
Yeah.
and then was like, you gotta find your own way home, buddy.
I mean,
Would you be
that's-
fine with that?
That's
Or-
fine.
Or would you go? Or would you go
Yeah,
Lisa?
that's-
Would you go the distance with like Lisa?
I don't wear Coach and I don't buy Coach.
Would you? What would you? That's a long flight.
That's a long flight. I just did it last week, actually.
Oh my God.
What
It's
seat
a
were you?
9.5 hour flight. First class. Yeah.
Of course, of course.
Not 19C.
No,
Okay.
19C.
That's okay. Nick puts me in row 50, so
What?
yeah. He does. Anytime he flies, he's in first class. But if I'm with him, we're in row 50.
I wasn't first
I'm
class. on the
freaking
way to-
out.
It's fucked up. It's really fucked up, honestly.
That is what you call a farce.
Okay.
Well, half truth.
Well,
Half truth, half lie.
yeah, it has to be one of them. So
50-50.
I did buy her something really big recently.
Lacently.
Listen, one thing
Let me guess.
Yeah, one
You have
thing-
to wear it and you look amazing in it. I bought you something that
I
I
don't
enjoy.
wanna wear it.
Exactly.
She does not have to wear anything.
Wow.
It's
I'm
hurting
learning a
me
lot.
to wear.
Yeah, but he's loving it.
But he's loving it. No, you did.
Oh,
Surprise.
surprise. I want to watch this play out.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm freaking out.
that's that's crazy. So yeah, row 50 is fun. If you ever wanted to see what it was like back there, maybe I could take you.
Don't know her.
You don't know her. Yeah. Well, I'm quite comfortable back there. So
I mean, I flew coach all the time. And one of the biggest perks of like being in a project is that they fly you business, and that's really nice. And I think the first time I ever flew business was when I got like a big gig that took me out of town. Because I mean, yeah, I've always flew coach, and so that was one of the biggest perks. And that was one of the things I look forward to. So when like SAG was doing their whole reevaluating contracts, that was one of the things they were like taking out. I was like, no,
please,
no, that's no, don't do.
don't do it.
Residuals, who cares? Like it's like not the business.
Take AI, take my
Take
face.
AI,
just give
who
me
cares?
first class.
I don't even use this. You cannot take my face. I'm gonna reiterate. You cannot take.
cannot take my face. No, it is just. I think it would be fine if it were the two of us, but the fact that I did birth his child, and he's putting me and his 13-month-old daughter in row 50 is, I think, what is really just
Someone told
he's
me a
torturing
story.
both of us.
Yeah, someone told me a story that said they sat next to Teddy Mellencamp's nanny and their kids. So she was up in first class, and the
And they
kids
were
were
in the back.
with the nanny. She's like, I got to meet her. You did? She was sitting next to you? No, sitting next to her nanny and the kids. And she came back to check up on them, and she was like, "How you guys doing? Good." And then she went back to first class.
I feel like that's
How are
fair.
you guys doing? Good.
Is that weird? Is it? Will that
and
be
then closes
bad?
the curtain.
Don't disturb
She's
mom.
Do
like,
not
I'll take
disturb.
a hot towel immediately.
Yeah.
Would that be
Back
bad? If
I
we
don't
did
know. I
that?
think it's good. I mean, the
Can we-
nanny's there with the kids. They're being taken care of. That's totally, it makes sense. But I don't know about yours.
I think, yeah. I mean, ours is still our lap child.
Yeah.
So
We just can't afford it. We're on a budge.
You
We're on a
can
budge.
afford
But
it.
he can afford it. Exactly.
No, I didn't pay for it.
Right.
I didn't pay for it.
But
I got,
when he
I got,
Got it.
you-
See the
Remember-
YouTube got me first class.
But remember when
Yeah.
you were flying yourself and you had that little emblem on the chair?
well,
the
that was
headdress
because
I
saw?
when I checked in,
They
they're
only
like,
have
"Do
that
you
for
want to upgrade for a couple bucks?" And I was like, "Sure, yeah."
And if you
yeah.
fly enough, you get enough cloud or something or level.
Well, I'm waiting for that.
I just started collecting points, and that's how I got to go to Japan because I just started
thank God.
cashing in my points, and I was like, "How many points do I have?" My friend's like, "You can fly first class to Japan." I was like, "Let's go."
And book
So-
it right now.
took my sister for her birthday, and
Wow.
so we loved it. So after traveling back and forth for work, you get a lot of points.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Well,
use those points on them.
Please.
you just got done with Oscars week.
Yeah,
How was it? The celebrations, parties?
it was great. Went to Elton John's party for the Oscars and to raise money for the AIDS organization, which is a great organization. You guys should look into that. And Bronwyn
You
was
guys
there.
should look into
We-
Look
that.
into that.
We went to that
We've
party a
been there before.
couple years ago. We haven't been invited since.
Yeah,
I
I
haven't been
don't
invited
know.
back
Makes
Makes
sense.
since.
Makes sense.
Invited.
It's really fun. It's a fun party. Chappell Rowan was singing.
Oh my God.
And it's kind of cool because the event takes place in the park behind the Abbey, and she sang Pink Pony Club, which
Love.
is based on the Abbey. That's what the song is based on. And then Elton was singing, and it was like, what is going on? And Bronwyn and I were like front row. And so it was just like, this, and we looked at each other like, this will never happen again. Like,
That's
this will
crazy.
never, ever happen again. This formula. It was great.
Did you see any celebrities like having to take their shoes off because their feet hurt? Did you see any like couples arguing? Did you see any?
Yeah. I mean, people take off their shoes all the time. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like I saw people on the carpet. Like, I'm like, we're not even done with the carpet yet. And they're like, take
like
my
I
shoes
gotta
off.
get these off.
Yeah, so that happened, and the dance floor as well. And then you feel weird because if they're barefoot and you're dancing, if someone steps on anyone's toes,
Yeah.
I don't want to step on anyone's
Would
toes.
you ever like see maybe like a pair of, I don't know, like Louboutins or Jimmy Choos or something like someone had kicked off and like
Yeah, I mean, what you mean? Like, would I
Well,
take? I mean,
what?
what do you- it's like that. It's like that Sex and the City episode where she goes to like, she goes like, but they were my shoes. And like, that's too much money for a pair of shoes.
She's like, but you took them off at my door. And she's
Yeah,
like, but you made me.
Then she sends an invite, right? Or like,
yeah.
no, I don't think I would, especially because no, I don't know.
That's
That'd be
fucked up.
weird. And also, are they my size?
What size are you?
I'm
I feel like you have petite little
11.
feet. Oh.
I'm like, these
Whoa,
ones.
some big
He starts screaming. I'm freaking out.
No, but they are Louis Vuitton. So, anyways, we'll be moving on. Did you see Tamra Judge is speaking her exit from Real Housewives of OC?
In the middle of filming in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
just posted a selfie in
get
the
it.
airport.
Yeah. That's,
I mean, her best friend, co-star Teddy, like, is literally fighting for her life. I mean, I got to assume, like,
The petty drama
some
just
things,
isn't worth
yeah.
just like, you know, you're just like, I don't, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
You
I guess
know?
at some point, I mean, they've also had a long run, right? Like, she's been on for
Yeah.
a while. OG. Is she OG?
Oh yeah,
OG OC?
I believe she's from first season. Absolutely.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
a song right there. I should think about her next venture. I'm OG OC.
She was off the show for a couple of years and then came back maybe 2 years ago.
But she is OG, right?
She is, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Wow.
she joined season 3.
Oh,
I lied to you.
That's early on that we
That's
can
still
forget
OG.
the
Yeah.
first
Pretty
two
OG.
seasons.
How many
Pretty
how
OG.
many
I mean,
seasons?
Who's
are
still standing from like the Jersey Housewives from OC? Like I still remember like, you know, the even the way they were shot. Like it was like the family was behind them and the kids and the dog.
Yeah.
And now they're like, leave them out.
Yeah.
It's about
Gold.
them. Yeah. It's just like, what would be your catchphrase if you were a housewife?
You know, none of them
Come up with it.
come out. Yeah.
Yeah.
They just say them all and then they find out what the producers picked when the show airs.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
That is
The
crazy.
trick
Kim's
is
criminal.
The trick is to read the ones you don't like in a bad way so that they can't use
That's
it.
true.
That's what they do.
Yeah, you could hear sometimes they did read it that way and they still went with
Yeah.
it.
Use it in like a crazy
Yeah.
accent.
Yeah, they're like, you might think I'm crazy, but I don't know how to finish that sentence. Just like, what?
Fashion,
Dun, dun,
fashion.
dun, dun, dun.
That didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, but she did post a selfie in the airport looking like she is leaving filming. She is done, which I guess when you are that
fucking
close
get
to
it.
someone who is fighting so hard for their life, you realize that like the petty, stupid drama just isn't worth it,
Yeah.
you know? And that's probably what all her co-stars, I mean, that's what every reality TV show is about, is just like stupid, petty drama. And so I feel like she was probably like, this just, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know?
And
This isn't
people
worth it.
say that, you know, like even with Potomac, where like people say that she's not like that in real life. I like her I like Karen in real life. I don't like her when she's on the show because you act differently in front of a camera.
Yeah.
So I feel like that changes you a little bit. And so I feel like, what is Karen like when she's not the grand dame? You know, because that's all I know.
Yeah.
She's this bigger than life, you know, character. Now she's, you know,
True.
put in jail. Would you whisper that? We can hear you.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was in my inner monologue.
Wah, wah, wah.
Are you watching Bev Hills?
Yes.
Are you a Dorit or a Kyle? Where
Man,
was-
this Dorit,
Oh, Dorit and Sutton.
I
Really?
really
I was
like
really
this.
Dorit.
Oh, I was so sad about Sutton and her mom. Like her mom was just
Love
like,
her
I know,
mom.
it's just like the relationship. I feel like it's finally healing. Maybe I don't know, but it was really sad because she was like, I know you don't like flying. I don't mind flying.
Did you see?
just like, okay, I know you don't like cashews. I love cashews. It was like everything was the opposite.
And like,
Did you see the
why
tweet
couldn't
of-
Sutton fly her mom out?
She did. She did fly her out, but she missed her flight.
Yeah.
Or her flight was
No,
canceled.
but why
like,
couldn't she put her on a private
Why-
jet
why-
if her
we-
wallet is so
Oh,
big?
right.
Yeah.
Oh, I think my wallet is.
And I think my wallet is.
Yeah.
Well, then if it is, why isn't your mother here?
Yeah. Charter.
Charter
Oh, I
her.
didn't think about that.
Like she's getting like $300K a month.
Yeah.
She
no.
couldn't like
You're not wrong.
she couldn't allocate like 50 of that
I feel like Dorit would have.
for mama.
Yeah, Dorit would have.
For
Dorit
sure.
would've.
Yeah, I will say, yeah, Erica Jane always flew everyone in her crew. You would not be sitting in row 50.
No, you would not be.
You would not.
You would not
So something
be,
I appreciate about
baby.
Erica is that she always said that. Yes, she might have been, using
You
funds from.
So I may not have been loved right, but like I got where I needed to go real fast.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I do go.
And
I-
Dorit, I feel like I like this story. Like she gives no fucks. Like she's
Same.
just like I like that. Where's this one? Because before it was like PK, so proper, and like I was like,
We're like, you're
mm.
from Connecticut. What
You
is
can-
happening?
yeah,
Like,
and then now
I'm seeing it.
she's just smoking and she's like, I don't give a fuck. Yeah,
I
it's just
don't give a
like
fuck.
it's kind of great. like
I
it.
honestly do think though, if Nick did have a British accent, I also would have a British accent. It's just I
It
would.
rubs off. Yeah, yeah,
And I would.
that makes sense. That does make sense.
And if Alec Baldwin had a Hispanic accent, it would make sense for also Hilaria to have
But
one
he
as well.
doesn't.
But he
does
doesn't.
not.
Does
and
not
I
have
think
one.
Hilaria is also from Connecticut.
What's in the
What's
water
up
in
with
Connecticut?
Connecticut? Yeah.
Also,
What's going on?
what is Hilaria better than Hillary? Like, why would she opt for Hilaria?
Which
she's
hilarious.
Duh, as would would I.
But she is hilarious, but like I don't know if it's a with. I
And
think
also-
it's more of an
Area.
act.
Correction, she's from Boston.
And if
Hilaria?
it was actually typed in like it was in Spanish, you wouldn't pronounce the H. It'd be Hilaria.
Hilaria. Mm-hmm. So-
Well, you told her.
Because you don't say the
Yeah.
H. And if you were gonna say the H like a ha, it would be a J.
Exactly.
Hilaria would be with the J, like Javier. the J.
Oh my gosh. Well, sorry.
You learned here. you
And
heard it here
learned
first.
first. How would you say Nick?
Nick.
Perfect.
Super sexy, super
Did
hot.
ya?
No, I love that. I'm circling that.
Did you keep up and watch any Vanderpump before it exited?
Yeah.
Vanderpump.
It was hard to watch that one because it was like, I'm from Zariana. And
Yeah.
so that was like it's like the last couple of years have been tough, to watch. And then I just finished Traitors. So then you're watching, yes, you don't root for a certain character because you go into a game and you're like, I already know I
Mhm.
don't trust you, even though it was plain sight that they weren't a traitor. It was like, I still think somehow.
So you would have been Dolores, just Tom.
Yeah. She
Did
was
you-
so mad at Bob the drag queen too. She was like, I made it nice, It was just
Did you see that Sheena had quite the weekend
yeah,
with Lady Gaga?
yeah. And they were at the SNL after party.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Kind of a big deal.
huge deal.
Huge
Huge
deal.
deal.
Like
I've been-
first, Lady Gaga is like saying that Sheena's like the one and only character that she will miss the most,
And then meeting her, and then
like weeks later,
Yeah.
she's. I assume that invite's coming from
Yeah.
Miss Lady.
To be
or
on
from-
Shenanigans.
Yeah. that's
Yeah,
the
like
that's the
Steph.
party where I met Lady Gaga for the first time.
Oh my
Because
gosh.
yeah,
Oh, I'm so
'Cause
sorry.
Bad Bunny-
How does one get invited to said party? Does like
I think if you're friends with the cast members, so I know a lot of the cast members, but like that was the day that Bad Bunny was hosting.
Uh-huh.
And Lady Gaga came to the after party, and it was like Pedro Pascal was there, and like Lady Gaga, and she was there with her. She was really nice. Like the way I met her was that no, it might have been different. I've been a couple times,
Oh my god.
and it wasn't the Pedro Pascal one. Then it was another one. But she was there with her fiance, but then boyfriend. They had just started dating. But the first thing she did was like, "Hi, nice to meet you. This is my," like she introduces the person that she's with. This is really really nice because sometimes when you meet like celebrities or something, they're like, "Hi, how's it going?" And there's someone next to them, and they just
Won't
Yeah.
don't
acknowledge
want to
their-
acknowledge
Yep.
them, and you're like, "And hi, how are you?" And,
Yep.
and this is my husband from 30 years.
Yeah.
So it's like,
this is my son.
This is
Like,
my son.
you
Yeah,
think-
lost son. I found you today.
Yeah.
do you think Sheena was invited by Lady Gaga or someone from the cast?
I think it
Because,
it
like,
could have
like-
been both, but I feel like she knows people from maybe from the cast. I feel like there would have been easy like connection to make like a cast member
Yes, I mean,
inviting
we've
her.
interviewed a couple of the people from the cast. They haven't invited us.
Really?
No.
They're really
Yeah.
lovely. Like every time I've gone, I've never planned it. Like I'm.
It was over Zoom though.
Oh, maybe that's why
Maybe they
there's a
didn't feel like-
distance.
They didn't
yeah.
get the energy.
Yeah, the energy in person. You
Oh,
get
the
it. You
in-person
know, and you have to say it with Nick. You know,
It's me.
It's me, Nick. I think every time I've done it, it's been like in the day of, like I'm there on a Saturday. I'm like, what's going on? Saturday, and then like I'm like, what are you doing tonight? They're like, come to the show, and like it
Do you
happens.
say
so-
you do like a what are you doing tonight? Like
Yeah,
knowing-
like I don't know what's
knowing you're
happening.
working.
Yeah, like I'll text. Yeah, like I'll text.
Oh, shit,
Are you working
Going.
tonight?
Yeah. Are you want? Do you want to get drinks tonight? What are you doing?
Oh my God, you're
no, but if you want to come to the show, oh my god,
I
the
would
show.
love to come to the show. Forgot that was even
It's
a
just
thing.
I thought okay, fine.
It was giving a Tuesday.
Yeah,
you know?
I thought it
You
was
think that's-
Tuesday.
That's what Sheena did.
No, but everyone, has been really lovely every time I go. Like I've done like a commercial with Heidi. Like Heidi and I did a commercial like a couple years ago. I'm friends with Bowen because he's super talented, and every time I see him at events, we always go up against each other for stuff too, like an award season. But we're always like the ones who are like talking in the corner, so it's really nice. He's really lovely.
Can
Yeah.
you sing?
Can I sing? Yeah.
Did you
Are you
audition for
asking me to sing right now?
Oh my God.
Is
Are we
this
gonna
why-
sing?
Yeah. I was up for Alphabet.
Welcome to the Plans Casino.
Yeah. Which was bought. Circus was bought. The casino was bought.
R.I.P.
It's dead.
Facts I didn't know.
R.I.P.
Disney bought it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wait, is that official
Rebranding.
yet?
Circus.
Is it official?
I think they bought it. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, don't quote me. I work for Disney too.
Harvey?
No, I'm freaking out.
No, they're taking his face right now. His face is falling off.
That was up for Alphabet. That's real.
That's real. It was you and Cynthia neck and neck.
How to
No,
go?
actually, the true story is I was up for Bach for Wicked, and the movie was a 2-year commitment. So like I knew Winnie Holzman, who wrote the script for this the musical for Broadway and for the movie, and she called me up and she was like, "Yeah, are you going out for Bach because I think you should go out for Bach, and I will put you in contact with blah blah. And I was like, that'd be great. And I got really excited about it. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna audition for Bach, and I love Wicked. And then they were like, you have to be available for 2 years, like to shoot the movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I was in season 3 of Shadows. And so at that point, Guillermo wasn't an original, like Guillermo was like a servant in the first season. Like he didn't have a lot of lines. He didn't like, and then after season 2, he kind of became like a bigger character. And by season 3, he became like a bigger character. And so like when I went to the studio, I was like, cannot, absolutely not. And like I thought I was gonna ask, like, can I take like I miss
Like
next
a quick,
season?
like,
Yeah,
2-year
2-year
break.
hiatus, like Guillermo disappears and then come back. I literally
But then I
went.
come back as the star of Wicked,
But I
and I'm
ca-
like,
yeah,
it's even
exactly.
bigger because of me.
have a
They
plan.
said not.
Yeah.
They said I could
They
not.
said
And so
absolutely
absolutely not. And so that didn't work
Bummer.
out.
And then it like became like a huge movie.
Yeah. I think they're okay. They're doing all right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
it would have been bigger with
Yeah.
if you
I
had
think so.
been
And,
a part of
I mean,
it.
I think that Ariana and I would have become like besties at
Besties.
best.
I was like, and to be fair, I'm like, she did meet her now boyfriend playing the role you would have. So who knows where she would be now?
That's
without him,
true.
You know?
So everything works out for the best. Question mark? I
Question
twin?
asterisk?
The
Question mark?
best.
Is that how they met? I thought they met on Broadway.
No, they met
Was
filming.
They filmed
I thought,
filming.
yeah, I thought they met when he was SpongeBob.
I thought that was his
Well, maybe he'd
SpongeBob.
still remember.
And
Hmm.
that is nuts. Are you a fan of Southern hospitality?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah, I know.
Hmm.
The hot dog party, that was kind of like, oh, smart. But I was like, wait, is
Sir
it?
Wieners.
Sir Wiener.
Wieners.
Yeah. Southern Charm, Southern Hospitality. I just got into Summer House as well.
Oh my God.
My
Oh,
friend
wow.
April, like literally just hooked me up to all of these, and I'm just going down a rabbit hole.
Are you up to date on Hospital? Have you watched the reunion?
No, I haven't watched the reunion yet. No, can't
Did you
talk
watch
about
the
it. Don't talk
finale?
about it. I watched the finale.
So you saw prom night.
Yeah. Prom night was a fun idea, but it just escalated so quickly. Like it was,
I honestly feel like anytime there's like a let's do a prom when everyone's like
no.
30,
And also, I feel
it's
like,
come on.
do they know
There's
it's the
some
last
past trauma that's
episode?
going to definitely come out.
I know Southern Charm shot out of order, so some of the episodes were like weird.
Yeah.
So that was weird for me because I was like, wait, now you're making certain people look like they were.
Vanita looked like a
Vanita.
homewrecker.
And I was like, that's not cool.
Yep.
But then I thought, is Southern Hospitality like doing that? Like, was the prom episode shot out of order and they made it the finale?
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? Because it was such a big episode. They're like, that's it. We got the
Well,
finale.
they did say at
Right.
the
That's a good
end
point.
when like Will's little hot mic moment,
Oh,
where they're
right.
like, "What do you want to do for the finale?" Which seemed very.
that state. I feel really
producey.
weird. Yeah.
What do you want to do for the finale?
6 months later, and she was like, I found out. I saw the clip of it. Like, I found out last night.
It was
And I
very
like,
dramatic.
Yeah.
I will say, and I've said this all season long, I don't like TJ. I don't like him.
He's so toxic, I think.
Something about him.
Him at the prom yelling at Will and Emmy in like in the front was the most like. Honestly, I would have laughed with Emmy and Will because it was laughable. It was like,
Yeah.
why are you so worked up?
Yeah.
This is
Why
not
are
your
you yelling?
relationship.
Well,
Like,
then
what
they
is
went to
wrong
go.
with
Will and
Girl,
Emmy
why are you
pulled,
yelling?
Why are you yelling?
They pulled aside what's his name, the buff mustache
Austin.
And then like TJ just comes out and follows him along, being like, no, I'm part of this conversation.
She
And then
said-
Brad.
She said,
Oh.
"Are we monkeys?"
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
right.
that was crazy. And I would have walked away too. If you're like trying to have a private
Yeah.
conversation and everyone comes, it's like, what
Yeah.
is happening? Like, just watch it back. It'll air in a few months.
And then when what's her name was like, I'm your best friend. No, you're not.
Grace Lily and
No,
Nadia.
yeah, I'm not. It's
It's
just
a
like the
whore.
shock factor. Imagine you with your best friend. I'm your best friend. No, you're not.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I would
It's like-
actually.
Nadia like
yeah.
screaming in Grace's face, he's a whore! He's
Yeah.
a whore! And it's just like, what is happening?
Yeah, I wanna
Are
see the
you
reunion.
team Will and Emmy or team rest of the group?
Rest of the group, I think. Because the rest of the group has something that, as a whole, not as individual, but as a whole, brings something to the show that I'm like, I could watch this.
Well,
Do
I
you know
don't
what
mean
No,
like.
in,
Oh, you mean like
I don't
as
mean
a,
like. Are you
in that
Scandal.
moment?
In that
Scandal.
Oh
moment.
no, them.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, no, I meant like as
Yeah.
who do you want? Them
They are
or
more,
the,
the other group is more
Yeah,
committed to the
no.
show
the,
for
the
sure.
group.
Yeah.
I want the group because that's the show. I
Yeah,
want the
yeah.
group
Right.
because they're gonna cause drama every
Yeah, yeah,
We
episode.
don't need to
Like-
spin off with Emmy and Will.
No, but
No.
Emmy and Will, I'm not, in that moment. I'm in
Yes.
their side.
Yes.
Yeah, that
Okay,
side
yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
It felt very much like they're in their relationship and the rest of the cast is not. And so like anything that happens, they're like, oh my God. And
Yeah.
she's like, yeah, babe, I was there. I'm aware. Like, you're really trying to.
Yeah.
Like, you want me to tell you everything that goes on? His sister also stayed at the house.
Why didn't you tell me?
You think that's incest or something?
Uber Eats dropped off something at 3 p.m. Like,
Right,
why didn't you
tell
tell
us.
me?
Yeah.
You're my best friend.
No, I'm not.
No, I'm not.
Like it's like 50-50 if you hear a rumor. If you're like, are you supposed to tell the person? Are you not supposed to tell the person? But like this whole cast is like, no, we need to tell them.
Yeah.
And we need to make it our mission to make sure that they like hear this rumor and know this rumor, regardless if the rumors are,
No,
are
Brad
true
When
or
they
and
not.
all
DJ?
walk together, when they're like, "Can I talk to you one-on-one?" Yeah, and then
The
it's
whole group?
and then everyone comes, and like people who are not in the show are in the background. There's like the mailman is
producers,
in the
it's
back.
like,
Yeah.
Get out of frame.
It's giving small town.
Yeah, it really is.
Small town vibes. All up
It
in your
was
business.
like everyone was in the background. It was like they literally said, "Can I talk to you?" Anything you say in front of them, you can say in front of me and in front of all of us. And it's like,
no, there's cameras here.
they-
You will
what?
see it
Yeah.
eventually.
Also, I was like Austin having the same conversation with anybody who will hear it. He
Yeah,
was just like, just so you know,
Exhausting.
Yeah.
my girlfriend's not here
Yeah,
because.
yeah,
It's
Okay,
like,
you.
well,
come here.
which is
she's
a
not
very
even your
like
girlfriend. She doesn't even want to
serial
date you.
killer move, like to make sure your alibi is like
Genuinely. That's why I appreciate Mia being like, finally, let's just have the conversation between the people because I'm tired of hearing you ruin this party.
Yeah. Or if you were like on Traitors, that would be a perfect tactic, like making sure everyone's on the same story because when voting comes, you're all on the same page.
Maybe
So
he's
my girlfriend
auditioning.
wasn't here just because everyone knows and everyone knows because I said
remember,
it.
I told you.
And I told
that
you,
my
and now
sis-
you know, so you have to say it.
Yeah, and
See,
maybe
you have to repeat
Austin
this.
wants to be on Traitors.
I think, ooh.
Would you go on Traitors?
Maybe, yeah. I love watching Traitors. I feel like once you put me in a game like that and it's reality, I don't know how well I would do. Like my friend, again, my friend April, like we joked that she would be the first one to rat someone out being the traitor. Be like, okay, guys, he's a traitor. I know. And it's like, why? Jesus Christ. So the joke is that I don't know how long I would last.
Would you go off of like vibes and energy?
I would.
Yeah.
But then I see some of the clips of like, Danielle, like where like it's like, I told you I'd fight. And it was like the Academy Award goes to.
Yes.
So I feel like you have to be a little bit of an actor to be in that world and make it work because you have to convince people and you can't be too over the top because then it's cheap acting and then you're like, something's up with you. But if you're a good actor and you can just slide under the radar and be like, yeah, they're faithful, but they're not, it's the perfect blend.
I feel like you have to do the polar opposite going on to the following season of Traitors than what the main traitor did.
Yes, you can't follow the formula.
Yeah, so it's like Housewives, sorry, you got thrown on the bus because Phaedra was that good. But like, if you're super dramatic, I think people now going into the next season would be paying attention to that, being like, oh, crying.
Right, so
taking
you're
a Phaedra
saying
and Danielle's
you're
book.
saying next season the first person off can't be a Bachelor contestant like Wells was
Or a housewife.
or a housewife.
It might. I feel like it could be a gamer. I'm not
It's
saying who's
gotta
going to
be a
get voted
gamer.
off first. I'm
Yeah.
just saying that like following the tactics. If you're a traitor, you can't be like overly emotional because I think people will start thinking from the last season, being like, "Well, Danielle was super emotional. Nobody suspected her, so now I've got to be the one to suspect the most emotional person."
Yeah.
You know, and that's where it's
so
probably
See,
still
the
faithful.
plan is to be like, fuck that person. I'm glad they're dead.
Which
Yeah.
literally
That's the
just have no
ticket.
emotion at all.
Yeah.
They deserved it.
Confessional. They deserve it.
Actually, even that kind of attitude, though, they'd be like, "Why is he acting so much like a traitor?
Yeah.
He has to be a
He has to be-
faithful because that's
yeah.
too obvious."
Yeah, that's true.
There's just too much tactic and strategy. It's just
That's what I'm saying.
exhausting.
It's exhausting. So if I went on and be like, can I just watch? Yeah.
Yeah.
I already have to do drama and like comedy
I'm
for a
telling you guys,
living.
I'm faithful. Can I just sit here and watch?
Yeah, honestly. I mean,
Honestly, just sitting at the round table and they're like, "I think Harvey is," and you just like, "Why?"
yeah.
Like instead of getting
why?
defensive, it's just like, "Wait, why?
Why though?
I've
Like,
done nothing.
I've done nothing, but just tell me. I'm here to listen.
Vote me out. Fine."
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it giving baddie?
Yeah.
Because I'm giving baddie.
I'm freaking out.
Did you jump into Summer House like this season or
this
did you?
season? Yeah, for the first time. I didn't go back and like. So I was asking questions I'm like, who's she? She's been on for 5. You know, she's
Yeah.
who's there?
Yeah.
Like,
They'll catch up. They'll flash.
Yeah,
back, you
which
know.
is so funny to me. That's like it's like a weekend getaway every weekend during summer, but you go back to your city life.
Mhm.
And I was like,
Yeah.
that's a long commute every weekend. And just like it sounds like fun, but I was like 3 hours in traffic, like there, and
Yeah.
then I don't even like to sit in traffic for an hour here in LA. It's just
I
like,
know.
you know what I mean, just to go 4 blocks.
Well, that's why like I kind of miss like the older seasons just because it was such like they all have such serious jobs in the city. So it's like when they were letting loose, we're talking like blacking out, talking to a wall.
Yeah,
So it was like really funny.
balance.
But, like,
yeah.
now
They're
they're
all
like-
influencers.
Yeah, now they're
so
all
it's like-
influencers. So it's like, I don't have to rush back on Monday.
Yeah, I might have to go back to the originals then because
Oh,
I
it's-
like that.
I was like, start at season 3. That's when Paige starts, and it's so good.
Yeah,
The
okay.
Workist sisters are a lot.
See, okay, then I want to go back to the original. I want to back to the origin story. Okay, I'm doing it.
Team Kyle, Team Paige in this particular fight, not necessarily over.
Kyle is which one's
Blonde,
the DJ?
Mullet.
Oh, the DJ.
Mullet.
Married, right?
Yeah.
No, I don't like that. That
Not the
wasn't
best
cool because what did she say? He's being Diplo.
Yeah.
I don't know. That wasn't cool. Like, especially when you get business involved, like it's like weird, especially with friends and like money's involved. You have to have really like, clear understanding of what you're getting and you're investing and like.
I did love how it seemed like that table was very far away from that door, and Paige got all the way inside, and she heard Two-Face.
I'm Two-Face. Yeah.
And she immediately turned around.
Spun on a dime.
Yeah.
Like it was just like, you said,
Yeah. Also in that like silhouette, I really appreciate her dress. I was like, that's a really cool
It's a cute
dress.
cut,
It's a cute cut. Yeah. I was like, I didn't see that when she was sitting down.
She needed to stand and
She
walk away and come
stand-
back.
That's what I noticed. I was like, oh, that's a really cute dress.
Yeah.
What did she say? Oh shit, rewind it. Yeah.
Carl participating in
It was
Lindsay's gender reveal scavenger hunt.
Yeah, it was like sweet. I don't know the back. I just know that they were dating last summer.
They were engaged.
They're engaged. And so it looked really sad. And then I think there was a preview of like he hasn't slept with anyone since anyone last summer. And I was like, oh.
I just thought it was so sweet that he like not only participated and was like a good sport, but
Really
like,
good sport.
also, I'm like, everybody knows that if he didn't participate because it's weird that he did,
Yeah.
everyone would be like, Carl, you're making it about yourself. Like, how dare you? Like, just be a good sport.
And do you think that there was a lot of baby stuff happening to like really twist? You know what I mean? Like it felt like a lot. Like it was like nobody wants to wake up and do like a gender reveal party organization, just like after drinking all night.
Well, this was 100% like producers.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I doubt that Lindsay was like, you know what I want to do? I'm going to do my gender reveal here with this group.
And the hunt and the
the hunt, the
She
whole
had-
thing,
she
and
had
Carl's
a
going to be
lot.
there.
It's just this. It was
It's like
twisting
she
the
had
knife.
no problem leaving that sonogram up on the mantle for him to see after when he got there.
That felt a little bit like
Like anybody could have grabbed that and been like, you know what, maybe a little too sensitive. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like these are
She said, welcome home.
they're professional TV makers, and I think the producers have
They have
ideas
to
and they
have-
go along
that's
with
true.
it. Like I don't think at this day and age, at like I don't know how many seasons.
We're
7?
9.
9? Well,
I don't know.
I gotta catch up.
When a like I just think when a producer's producing and they like throw a ultrasound picture on top of a mantle, I don't think any of the cast members 9 seasons in are that prickly or that sensitive where they're gonna be like, oh my god, don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they're squeezing all the juice they can out of these lemons, so to speak.
Well, it's like also bless Carl because it took him a lot to like work up just even saying hi to her.
Yeah.
And then this episode when she was like, hey, there's some champagne, like
That
non-alcoholic
moment in the
champagne.
fridge, like then the camera wasn't even ready for them to go in the kitchen. She's like, "There's some non-alcoholic," and she's like, "Oh, there is."
It was
It was
so
a sweet moment. Like it was like, okay,
It
we're
was like
fine.
the kind of almost like
just great,
a little like
just-
grazed like
that's
Maybe
enough.
it was like a little.
It was just enough that
It
it
was
was
just
like
enough to
last
give
summer
them
I
some,
was
like-
engaged to you and you're pregnant with another man.
Enough
Is
to
this
make his
it?
dick a little hard.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
enough for her to be like, oh my
not
God,
doing that
no.
again because I can't because I'm carrying a child right now and it would hurt it.
And it would hurt the baby.
How would
So-
you if I was not there for our gender reveal party and I guess your ex-lover was, and then you text me like,
Hey,
hey,
went good.
went good, and if my response was, oh, that's nice, how would you feel?
Well, see, the thing is, Lindsay already knew the gender. So I would imagine that they went together to the doctor, maybe got
Before,
the call, had
yeah.
a moment together.
Yeah,
And then she was like, I'm going to do this. He doesn't seem like he's quite of a texter,
Yeah.
which neither are you.
no, I'm not.
So honestly, I would see you saying maybe
I'm
not a
learning a
lot of
lot.
W's
I'm learning a
after
lot.
all. It would probably be like a misspelled all somehow. I don't know how you'd misspell it,
if I
but you
was
would.
in
AH.
first class at the time when I texted you back.
I would not be shocked. No, I would be like, okay, yeah.
Get a reception back here, so please.
Sorry, you might get free Wi-Fi up there, but
Yeah.
I have to pay for it. It's
Yeah, I'm not
$8,
paying.
and I'm not getting my
doing that.
wallet's somewhere deep inside my carry-on. I can't find it. I can't get my card out.
Send a message from your screen to
Send-
mine,
send-
50C.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they used to have that.
They used to
remember?
have that. I don't know if they still
They
do.
stopped. People were getting harassed.
Oh my god! Yeah, could you imagine?
Yeah.
Did you ever?
I got one time. I think it was like this is years ago when they still had that. Like someone messaged and it was a kind of an awkward message, and I think that's why they probably stopped because you could message anyone as long as you knew their seat number.
Yeah, it's fucked
I
up.
think my friend said they messaged like Macaulay Culkin one time, and I was like, "What? You don't know them?" I was like, "I know," but I thought I was like, big fan of your dude. message. You're like,
Oh no!
and I'm in the plane with you. I'm like, I'm watching you. It's like,
That's the beginning of a horror
It's a horror film, and
Yeah.
it's like, and you go up to the, like, I think someone's like in the plane trying to get me, sir. Go back to your seat. It's a horror
No,
film.
someone
I know where
knows.
you're
No,
sitting.
someone knows. Of
am.
course they do, sir. Everyone knows who you are. Yeah,
You're Kevin.
yeah. You're Kevin.
You're
It's
married to Brenda
and
Thong.
then go back to your seat. He's like, "Ding, you shouldn't have done that. done. The horror film writes itself.
I see you
Like-
made this flight.
Yeah. There's no way out in this
Oh
8-hour
my God.
flight.
Mommy's
The
not
only
coming to
way
save
out
you.
No.
Now
I'm
you're
scared
really
already.
home alone.
Now you're really alone.
That's fucked up.
I would watch it actually.
Honestly,
Actually, copyrights. Tonight I'm making this film. Came up with this idea.
we came up with the idea. That's
How was
beautiful.
Companion?
Good. Yeah, that cast is so fun. We're in a group chat and we still talked. In fact, Lucas Cage texted me this morning. Like the barista at my coffee shop said how much our gay relationship meant to him, and I was like, "Aw." And he's like, "Yeah, it was really sweet. I still had to pay for coffee."
And that's fucked up.
That's the real
and that
crime.
is actually fucked up. But you are familiar like with vampire-esque. Like, who do you feel like in Bravo Nation world, housewife-ish world would be the best vampire?
Best vampire.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then who would be maybe the best
Like,
assistant?
familiar?
Familiar, yeah.
Someone who's organized and can take a lot of like, I don't know. I mean, a vampire. I feel like it would be Teresa. Teresa would be a great vampire because we don't have a lot of ingredients.
Yeah.
What
I
about
think
Lisa
Lisa. Which Lisa?
Barlow?
Lisa Barlow would be a good vampire. I think. A good familiar, someone who has organized and.
Sutton's assistant, Avi.
Yeah, Avi. Although Avi in the last season has become very like
He's a bit of-
snarky.
He talks back.
Yeah,
He talks back
He's
lately.
really gotten
The
outspoken.
first season he was like right away, blah blah, and it's like and it's like he's like running the fashion show, and even like
He's
yeah,
getting mad at her mom.
he's getting mad at the mom. It was like it's like no, don't put the dumplings
I
in
don't
there;
want
they
that
get
ice.
soggy,
Yeah.
And he's like okay, and I was just like, who is running this household? Like he's
That was
the
great.
lady of the house. Yeah,
Okay, who would be familiar?
I was gonna say him, but like now I'm like, oh, maybe I'm trying to think of someone from Atlanta because
Ooh.
remember when she made the best friend contract?
Oh, Cynthia.
Cynthia.
We love Cynthia.
I think Cynthia would be familiar because she's always level. She doesn't go too like even if she's having a bad day, she doesn't go. She's still leveled headed.
Yeah.
I feel like
She's
you
very,
need.
you guys
Yeah,
very
Yeah, I
cool.
think she's
Great to work with.
level-headed. Yes,
Yeah.
she's great to work with. Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Sure.
So I would say her because she would have structure and get things done.
And we approve of that message.
We like that. Cynthia, it's a good thing.
Yes.
Yeah. I like
Thank-
Cynthia. She's always been good.
Thank you. Who's your least favorite housewife?
Oh, now you're trying to get me in trouble.
Canceled.
Drag.
When you say Lisa, drag,
Drag 'em.
cancel, period.
It's
Not
gotta
me
be
getting
someone from New
canceled.
York.
It has to be from where?
I was just gonna say it's gonna
Just
be
say Brendan, move on. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying absolutely not. She's my favorite. My least favorite. I mean, I guess she's in prison now, so I guess.
Oh.
No, she is good. I like her. I wouldn't know.
Jen?
Jen Shaw could be.
Jen Shaw. Sometimes the way she talks to people, I do not like.
Absolutely.
That she's very rude and like, and then throwing things to people. I don't like
Not
that.
cool.
She's not even like a good
wait,
apologizer
Not a good
either.
apologizer. No, doubles down. So I don't want to say it's a double-edged sword because I like her, but I don't like the way she treats people.
Can I say something nice about Erica? I know we're like
Yes.
pivoting because
Yes.
I've I'm still a little. Don't know how to feel about those earrings. They're still sparkling and dangling.
I think at
down
some
her
point
ear.
you do have to get over it.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. And I have.
Just like the rest of the world.
For
Time
the
to move
most
on,
part.
people.
Let
I have.
go.
You never have to
Let
ask if you
it
can
go.
Let it
say nice
go.
things to
It's
someone.
just earrings.
$70 million.
But she really, honestly, like it's not easy to have a fall from grace like she had and have your whole world change and to like go from mansion and opulence, all this to like little bungalow in Beverly Hills. And while it's still nice and I'm sure very expensive relative to like she's had a nice little comeback, like she really.
She's self-made now.
Yeah,
Like,
she
it's
really
like she's
is.
always been
It's not
self-made.
easy.
But before you just had a little bit of assistance from a
Little bit of
corrupt lawyer.
assistance.
But like now she's really doing it on her own.
Yeah.
And even the remodeling of her
Yeah.
space,
Yeah.
it gives her this like I like her. She's smiling more. Her energy is positive. She walks into the room and she's not.
It's hers.
She's
you know.
yeah.
She
Before
bought
she was
a
so
Porsche.
she bought a Porsche. Like before she was so defensive in the past season. She'd go in and she was ready to fight because
Mhm.
I get it. When the world feels like it's attacking you, you feel like you have to always be on guard. And she always felt on guard. And in this season, she feels very like, I'm happy.
I'm
You
good.
know,
Good for
I'm
you.
good.
That's
And I like
Yeah,
honestly-
she does look good, and I'm happy for her.
Erica, we're happy for you.
I feel like she's in a phase of like, you can't get to me,
Yeah.
you know, where
Yes.
like I went through fucking hell and like
Mhm.
now I can take anything and like it won't.
Yeah.
I'm good. Like it's
she's
not
been
gonna
through hell and
affect
back.
me.
Yeah,
She
she's
has.
good.
Even
And
when,
I'm the same way. So
Yeah.
yeah.
even when Dorit was like,
And I
trying
just
to
got new earrings.
Yeah. I did not get any earrings.
Okay.
Actually.
Wait, what were you gonna
Sorry,
say?
what?
Sorry, you were talking.
Sorry, it was just a little. We had a
yacht a bit.
yeah.
But I was saying, even for when Dorit, they were getting the facials, and she was like trying to get her to be like, you don't think that Kyle's doing something wrong? And then Erica was like, I'm friends with both of you.
Yeah.
Like she's very much like being like, I'm not going to be used as a pawn in anybody's game anymore either. I'm not picking
Yes.
sides. If you want to say things, you guys work it out, but don't involve me.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love that.
Same.
The year started off really weird with like Dorit taking her shopping, or like, she asked Dorit to go shopping, and then she goes, "I want you to be the first one to know, PK and I," which is like last year was so like, you know, it was
It was
such a
pretty good
weird.
to read.
Thank you, but baby, Bubba.
Oh, Bubba.
Bubba,
Bubba's.
PK. It's just, it was nice to like see that they were starting when look, I need your support. You know,
Yeah.
this is happening and you're the first one to know it. And I thought, I was like, wow, what an olive branch. Because last year was so tumultuous, you know? So
Well, if
it's
she
like,
had met Bose first, it would have been Bose before Erica.
yeah, because they hit it off.
They're
And I
best
do like
friends.
that friendship a lot.
I
love it.
love that
Yeah.
friendship.
Yeah. But
how,
then
how many times is storming off at the reunion too many? It's been rumored that Kyle storms off twice at the reunion.
but also she stormed off during the show. So that's
Yeah,
added
so
on.
That's
three.
like
That's a
3.
bonus.
Yeah.
And-
carry the.
And
Yeah.
over
Two.
allegedly the same topic, which is her and Mo.
Like,
Yeah.
You mean her and
right.
PK?
Kyle?
Her texting PK.
Kyle and texting PK? Like
Or
that?
the
Well, I don't
Mo.
know. I mean,
Can't keep up.
Oh my
I
God,
thought,
it's
I thought it had to do with
so
Mo's
much going
on.
divorce.
I
and
think
they led the
I think
cheating
once
rumors.
everyone's allowed one, and if you do more than one as a like if you do it twice, then you're like
It's getting embarrassing.
it's getting embarrassing. You're stealing focus and
Like, don't come back.
yeah, don't come back.
Don't come
Get
back.
in your
well,
car.
her, you know, from Potomac, she did that and she didn't come back.
Period.
Yeah, she walked off. Remember
Mhm.
what's her name?
Monique?
No, she used to own the chiropractor chain.
Oh,
That's
oh my
got,
God.
that's
she,
criminal.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking
the one
about.
that so they said she was a stripper. Mia.
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 So
Yeah.
Mia walked off set and then this morning announced that she would not be coming back.
Yep.
So I
So
was like,
she
well,
was
I kind
like-
of read that because once you leave the building, I don't think Andy's too keen on that. It's like you can leave the room and go to your room and like to have a moment the camera can follow you, but once you leave the building and we
You're
can't
out.
talk to you, you're out. And if you decide you're out, then you're definitely, I think, you made
There is
your
no
mind.
pause.
There's no
There is
pausing
just
there.
ending.
Can't pause yourself.
you can't pause yourself. They pause you, and then they push rewind. You know?
And yes, they do.
Yeah.
This has been so much fun, Harvey.
Thank
Can
you.
you tell us
Thank you.
where we can follow you, where we can all the great plug away. Just plug.
Follow
plug-
me on planes and message me.
Find my seat number.
Find my seat number and message me.
It
Please
will
don't.
always be one C. by the
Absolutely.
way.
Always.
Always.
I don't wear coach and I don't like coach. I follow me on Instagram and on Twitter, Harvey Guillén, just my full name.
Amazing.
Doing
Yeah.
it right now.
Gracias, Nick.
You want to come? Well, please come back.
Natalia. Natalia
Yeah, well,
is me.
Please,
if you
please
want.
come
Thanks for
back.
coming.
It's just me as Natalia. I told you.
I told you.
I told you.
You can check
Gracias.
Harvey out on the new movie Companion. What we do in
Wait,
the
is
shadow.
it?
What?
What?
Say your name. It's with an H.
Yeah, but that's my stage name. My real name. Yeah.
Gagged.
Yeah. I changed it because people couldn't pronounce my legal name.
What
What's
is
your
it?
legal name?
Javier.
Javier.
Ooh,
Ha-
sexy.
Yeah, so I
Javier?
had a first
Javier?
agent who was like, Javier Guillén's gonna get you limited roles. And I was like, and he was Latin himself. And I was like, oh, really? He's like, yeah. What do people call you? And I was like, well, my family calls me Javi. Javi is like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
short
Oh,
for
yeah,
Javier.
yeah.
Harvey, Harvey. And that's how Harvey was like, Harvey Guillén, that sounds cool. And I was like, cool, let's go for it. Which I like now because if you know me as Harvey, you know me from my work.
Yeah.
But you know me as don't do this because people have been listening to the story recently and they come to me in places like, hey, Javi. And they try to be like, I
And
don't
you're
know.
over here like, being like, wait, do I know you? Am I
well, that's
related to you?
exactly.
Are we
That's how
friends?
I find out that I'm like, wait, we don't know each other. But if you know me from my full name and I grew up with you, your family. So if I hear anything like that in the crowd, I'm like, oh my God, I know them, you know?
Yeah.
But if I hear Harvey, I'm like, how's it going? Yay, shaking kiss
Very-
baby.
Yeah.
You know?
kiss
Sign
me.
forehead.
Yeah. That was mustard. I just used mustard to sign my name. But that's how that can be. But Harvey would be in Spanish, Harvey.
Yes.
Harvey.
Gracias, Nick.
I love it. I love this. This is a very nice Spanish lesson, and I do appreciate you doing that for free.
For free. Oh, no, it's
Yeah.
not. Invoice.
Oh, okay.
What kind?
Yeah.
We will. Send
Those
us-
flights don't pay for themselves.
I wouldn't know.
And that's why we're still in row 50.
Thanks, Harvey.
Thanks for having
Love
me.
you.
I'm freaking out.
We love our dogs, Jeff and Steve. We love them so much. But every once in a while, those beautiful furry creatures get into some trouble, eat some things they shouldn't, and we get a little worried. But thanks to today's sponsor, and this episode being brought to you by the ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program, we can talk to you about how they give us the peace of mind that we and you will appreciate as loving dog parents. Your pet is part of your family and you want what's best for them no matter what, but vet bills can easily and really add up. That's why you need to check out pet insurance. And with the ASPCA Pet Health Insurance, you can focus on care your pet deserves and cover what matters most.
The ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program offers customizable accident and illness plans, making it easier for pet parents like you to help your pet get the pet care that they need. The ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program has been around for 18 years, and they've helped more than 600,000 pets during that time. They allow you to customize your plan, helping ensure that your pet's plan is as unique as they are, because vet bills can really add up, especially when you're least expecting it. It's simple. Use their app to submit a claim, and you'll receive reimbursement for eligible vet bills directly into your bank account.
To explore coverage, visit aspcapetinsurance.com/VIALL. That's aspcapetinsurance.com/VIALL. Again, that's aspcapetinsurance.com/VIALL. This is a paid advertisement. Insurance is underwritten by either Independence America Insurance Company or United States Fire Insurance Company and produced by PTZ Insurance Company Limited. The ASPCA is not an insurer and is not engaged in the business of insurance.
We're a few months into 2025, and we've been working on maintaining our health goals. Honestly, we have to admit that it's all thanks to Symbiotica. Symbiotica packets make it so easy for us to keep up with our daily vitamin and nutrient intake as a part of our daily routine.
One of my personal favorites is the Magnesium L-threonate. Not only is the vanilla cream flavor delicious, but the travel size packet has helped boost brain power, balance mood, and calm the central nervous system while also improving memory. Definitely one of my daily go-to supplements. And the way they make it easy to travel with your supplements and vitamins is absolute game changer. It's so easy to get off your routine of trying to have these kind of healthy habits. Symbiotica makes it easier to make sure that you are staying on your wellness kick. It only takes 30 seconds a day to get all the nutrients you need. They have a formula to support your health goals, everything from energy, digestion, immunity, and mood. Symbiotica is as clean as it gets. No seed oils, preservatives, or artificial junk, just high quality, real ingredients that actually do something. Symbiotica, wellness made simple. Go to symbiotica.com/VIALL to get 20% off plus free shipping. That's CYMBIOTIKA.com/VIALL to claim 20% off plus free shipping today. Well, that Harvey was so much fun.
Well, that Harvey.
That
What
Harvey.
accent was
You
that?
sounded like
Well,
an
that
old
Harvey was
prospector.
just so
That
fun.
Harvey
That
was
Harvey.
so much fun.
You sound like Parker Posey with her lorazepam.
Tsunami.
Tsunami.
Did you guys watch last night?
No,
No.
don't spoil.
Yes, I
I haven't
did.
seen
Yeah,
it
we
yet.
did not.
Great.
Mm.
That's a Tuesday night watch for us
Mhm.
because weekends are heavy reality TV.
Yeah.
It was my one show outside of work, and now it is work.
I know. That's why sometimes
we-
I don't want to talk about stuff because I'm I have to.
Have peace somewhere else.
I can't. I don't want to
Something for
think
me.
about what I'm going to talk about.
No, you don't even have to. You
know?
don't. Did I ruin it for you?
No.
I do
No.
want to apologize. I said Walter Goggins last week, and it is Walton. And I would never want to disrespect the man, the myth, the legend, Walton Goggins.
Did they come for you?
I don't know, but I've been thinking about it because I knew I was wrong when I
Made you
said it.
sick.
I was
Made
like,
you sick.
no, Walton.
No.
Did you notice on Southern Charm they changed Sienna's lower third, her descriptor, really quick from
Yes.
girlfriend to ex-girlfriend
It was
within
really
a second of when they put her on screen?
Like
Damn.
when she was just like, we were never dating, ex-girlfriend.
Guys, that ex, her leaving was hard to watch. Where she's like, "Don't hate me." He's like, "I could never hate you. I love you.
Do you think?
smell so good?" It's just so hard. It's so.
Definitely not an expert. Don't know anything about medicine or addiction or anything like that. But doesn't it feel like Shep's behavior regarding his now ex-girlfriend? It's like giving he got kind of clean or whatever. It's giving just impulsive. It's giving he's replacing the excitement and rush of the adrenaline of partying versus with the excitement and rush of heartbreak and pain almost.
I mean, as far as I know, he's never had his heart broken. So
That's what I'm
He
but,
said on the show he's had his heart broken 3 times. I don't know how believable that is.
I mean, whatever though, whether he has or hasn't, I'm just saying right now he is almost leaning into just like being embarrassed and being crushed, because it's like he's giving like gambler at a casino with a gambling problem who just wants to feel like the fucking like the comeback, right? It's like he's down bad, he's lost a ton of money, and he's still gonna like double down and it's like, you know, and still like give this woman flowers and write her poetry, like, and she clearly doesn't want it. Everyone's telling him to stop. All his friends are being like, don't spend any more money at the fucking blackjack table. And Shep's just like, I mean, what did he say? He says like unreasonable or ridiculous for Craig to ask him to be like level-headed. I don't know what his exact wording was, but basically Shep was just like, it was insane for his friend to expect him to do something sane in a way. And I'm like, wow, this is really giving like, you know.
He's having a midlife crisis is what I see.
And I think when you're in love like that, you really context and normal decision making just completely
when you're
goes out the
19,
window.
but he's a 40-year-old man
But
who
it's
seems to
Shep.
be replacing, you know, like.
I'm saying I feel like this, I mean, I don't know to like, I can't speak to like how he's dealt with heartbreak in the past, but what it feels like from watching him the last 10 years was that anybody that wanted to date him or get into a serious relationship had to understand that he's like, I don't want to get married. I don't want to have kids. That's not for me. I don't know if the Taylor situation or what, because this is what it looks like. It's like, this is the first time somebody's telling him no when he wants it. So he's like, this can't be reality. I always get what I want. So maybe if I pretend that this is the reality, somehow it's going to fall into place. But it's giving denial and delusion.
Well, listen,
in the
like
worst way.
when you're in your 20s and 30s, you're not that far removed from college. Even your immediate family, your mom, dad, brothers and sisters. I don't know like Shep's situation, but I think it's easier if you don't have like a drive to like be a mom or a dad or have a family. But when you get into your 30s and 40s, and people grow, you know, your family gets older, you know, maybe brothers and sisters also get in relationships, have kids. I don't know. Your parents get older, you know, you start taking care of them more than they're taking care of you. All your friends, your bros, you know, your Craigs of the world and your Austins who you thought would be your ride and die forever. And they're the ones who like had your back in your 20s and 30s and you talked to them every day. They're the ones you like, you know, opened up to about whatever it is you wanted to open up to. You'd go out, you know, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday together and things like that. And then people start slowly growing up and getting older, and Craig's trying to do that as well. And it's just like when all of a sudden you're 40, then you start realizing, you know what, who's going to be with me the rest of my life? You know, who's going to be by my side, you know, through thick and thin? Who am I going to do life together with? Because I don't know if I could do it with Austin and Craig.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that idea when I was 25 seemed good enough, but like now I'm not so sure, you know? And I feel like that you're seeing a little bit of that where it's just like, what does life look like for the next 10 or 15 years for some of these guys? Where it's just like, I don't know,
They weren't concerned about it. I think Levis said that on the FaceTime where she was just kind of like, he thought that he could get this girl. The fact that he doesn't now, he's just left with the reality that you're in your 40s and like, that's it. Like you don't have a plan. You don't have a relationship. You don't know how to like go about and start these things up. So it's like he's steps behind, but it's like you're trying to force this girl to fit into a mold that she's never agreed to fitting into.
You can change fast though. I mean, like, you know, maybe this is the wake up call Shep needs, you know, like
Everyone at the table being like, Sienna, are you planning on changing like your lifestyle and living in Charleston and getting married and having kids? And she's like, no.
She's like, I'm not even in a relationship. Why would I be thinking about those things?
Yeah.
The wake up call is to stop buying shark necklaces. I'm sorry.
Sorry,
Yeah.
megalodon
Well,
necklaces.
so
It was pretty.
Taylor said on the after show that she modeled like for a photo shoot the same megalodon necklace.
for Shep.
Well, just for the brand, I think. And then Shep bought it unconnected probably to give to Sienna.
You don't think Shep saw it on Taylor and was like,
Or maybe kept it in mind.
yeah,
He's like, "Look at that. Where did I
Hard
see
to
that
forget.
before? It looks good."
No.
hard to forget.
When Shep said it feels like them breaking up felt like death by a thousand paper cuts.
Girl.
I was just like, this like figurative language that you're using to be like, nobody understands the depths of my. She
I
just
I
is
mean, if
not in
he's
you.
the one taking the paper and cutting himself,
Literally.
then,
Yeah,
I guess like
Shep is
You
the
can go as
definition.
fast or slow as you want, my guy.
look, no one's making you do this.
Absolutely.
Shep is the definition of like certain men will like have to go and take ayahuasca and like have a midlife crisis in order to figure out the same thing a teenage girl figures out by listening to Lana Del Rey.
Yeah, yeah. He did. Okay, he did raise it. He did raise a good question of like, when you're about to break up with someone, do you still give them the gift?
No.
No.
No, right?
No.
If anything, I
But a
want
lot
my
of people
gifts
do.
back.
A lot of people do, but it's always a mistake. And I've made that mistake before, but it's like they don't want it. You really want to see it through. I don't know. It's just like, this will change everything.
The Megalodon tooth, like, your love is extinct, just like that shark.
See,
Also, like, what's the return value on this? Like, is
I
this
don't
24
know.
karat gold?
It's
like,
a cool
or-
necklace. I'd keep that,
What's
though.
the necklace look like?
it's a megalodon tooth with like a gold like chain.
You keep
holding
saying
it.
the name, but it doesn't.
It's
You've
a
never
big
watched Shark
tooth.
Week?
Oh my God, Megalodon? There's that
It's
whole
like a-
movie, The Meg.
The
Yeah, a big shark.
Huge,
Yeah,
It's the
huge,
biggest- yeah,
like,
it's like-
ancestral shark.
Like, are they real? Is my question.
But why is that
They
a necklace
were.
you would like always give to a girl?
Right.
That's what he gave her?
that big
Jesus.
black one.
It has like gold.
With the
on it.
He's a
gold.
And this was Taylor with the same necklace on.
It's
Nope.
very Southern man giving a gift.
Prehistoric
It is.
megalodon.
Have you received a lot of those from
I've
Southern men?
That is pretty
No,
common in the
but,
South,
like-
like on the coast, to like give
Yeah.
shark tooth necklaces.
Like a
I
gift shop, right?
loved a shark tooth necklace as
So
a kid.
there's a lot of like
Did you get-
higher end
Okay.
places, that not just gift
Just
shops.
kidding.
I've given a shark tooth necklace,
Okay.
and I've bought shark tooth necklaces for myself.
Mary
as a
is
kid, I
shep.
was. I
Southern
do.
man.
Yeah, I remember
The
as a
Southern
kid, it was
hospitality
like-
boys. There is a part of me that I'm like, damn, this
feels
is.
familiar.
This feels very familiar to me.
Um,
It does hit home.
Yeah.
Austin and Craig had a one-on-one, right, where they saw eye to eye. And I couldn't stop laughing when Austin was like, "You're an embellisher," and Craig was like, "I'm a lawyer and a storyteller."
Is he
Like,
either?
so that's why you
No.
lie?
No. He didn't go to law school, right? It was
No,
a
he
lie.
did. He did,
Or
and
he
he
didn't
does have a
pass.
law practice in Charleston.
Oh.
Wait, Craig has a law practice?
Mhm.
I thought he never followed through with it.
Yeah,
Wait,
no.
so he is a lawyer.
I thought he
He
never
is.
passed the bar.
Yeah, that's what
no,
I thought it was.
he did
Why
like-
doesn't he lead with that?
because he is a pillow empire king,
True.
Oh.
and he also has one more business too. Oh, and then he has got the restaurant. So he's
I mean, like everyone knows Rachel Lindsay's a lawyer, and when was the last time she practiced law?
I don't know, but Craig Conover is a personal injury lawyer in Charleston, South Carolina, who founded the Conover Law Firm in 2021. The firm helps people with car accidents, truck accidents, and on-the-job injuries.
He's an ambulance chaser.
A billboarder.
Is it? Does he have a billboard?
That'd be cool.
I bet he does. You know, they're all over in the South.
Why don't we know this about Craig?
I thought he never passed the bar exam. This is new
I
news
thought
to
he
me.
didn't
No,
pass
everybody
either.
gave him so much shit throughout the seasons that he did end up taking the bar, and then he opened up his own
Well,
practice.
good for him then.
How's that going?
Still open, still functioning. It says he passed the bar in 2017 and
That's
swore
off.
in the following
for
year.
him.
I'm
Is
sorry,
Is there any
Craig.
people out there with like a neck brace being like, that Craig Carnover I made me $1,000 or something?
10,000 by just downloading this app.
Well,
Does he have a commercial?
That's his commercial, and the phone
Have
number.
you been rear-ended by a bad day?
The phone number is 829-HURT.
I love it.
That's
Original.
really cute, actually.
Creative.
No, it's great. I want to. Why doesn't he lean? Why don't we have any scenes of
Of lawyer Craig.
Maybe he wants to like keep it separate.
like
from
why couldn't
TV.
Craig help JT with his like cane situation? Didn't he have an injury or something?
That was his own
That was
doing
in,
though.
like, wasn't that in like overseas? or
When he was
something?
driving the car himself and like it tipped, I think.
I have a feeling he's overseeing and other people are practicing the cases. He's like, I'm in Charleston. Nope, I'm in Nashville. Someone down south.
like does his hours of operation? Is he like technically open right now?
Yeah.
Pull up the Yelp.
Like
What are
if
the
I fender
reviews?
bendered right
You want
now.
me to call him?
the tagline is "Don't get run over, call Conover."
Cute.
Oh, that's a good
That
one.
is so
Okay,
creative.
call the number and be like, someone just ran over my
Not doing that.
my ego.
What do you?
No, we shouldn't prank call.
We shouldn't
Carnovers.
We should
prank
not.
the people that orchestrate and use the
If
law
we're gonna do it,
against
we should do
others.
it with Sue Dillon. Do you know Sue Dillon?
What?
On Instagram.
What just happened?
Sue Dillon. That's how she
What?
talks. She prank calls people. She's like, "Hey, it's Sue Dillon."
Sue Dillon.
Oh, on
Yeah.
TikTok?
Yeah.
What is
Yes.
what's
Yeah, she
going
wears the
on?
wig and she like smokes cigarettes and she sits in the corner of her house and she like prank calls people for him and she'll be like, "My bush needs to be shaved." That's how
That's
she talks
awesome.
to people.
So call the front desk
Look her
people.
up.
Yes.
That's how she talks to people.
So call people and be like, I'm
Please
in the
pull it
bathroom
up
right now.
because I look stupid. Hurry!
You need to be hired as a voice actress for horror movies
Sue
because that was
Dillon.
terrifying.
Listen to her. Just click on one of them.
She said any will do.
With those cigarette earrings.
May I speak with Katie?
Oh my gosh.
Hi, baby. It's nice to meet you. I'm just calling because I'm dating your daddy, JT.
Oh, is she?
Like,
She's giving
your
it.
mutt shit in my yard.
She's serving
They're
like.
like, it's not a mutt. It's a pure breed beagle. She's like, that mutt.
All right, well, up next, she recently left the Castle of Traitors because she backstabbed her friend Danielle again. And now we get to find out why. Britney. Britney,
Hi.
how are you?
God, I love your aesthetic. Like, what do we call this?
It's giving earthy.
Yeah, earth tones, but like
It's
you've got,
giving like
the
pour out your heart and tell us all your deepest, darkest secrets. And
Is that your gig? That's what you do?
Well,
you know, we just
something.
want you to say whatever it is you want to say. You know, like, I don't know. We're here to invite people to be their truest selves.
Oh, really? That's the goal? You go deep?
We go
It's like a
deep.
deep thinking.
But sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't prepared for that. I'm all about keeping it light.
Well,
Oh.
do you think the
Jokey.
Earth is flat or?
Yeah. Quick, give us your biggest conspiracy theory.
I'm very against the idea that the earth is flat.
Okay.
Very
Okay. Well, thank God we got that out of the way.
impassioned. Impassioned.
Impassioned.
Have you survived the wrath of Traitor Nation? Does Traitor Nation have like a nickname? Is it like, or do we need? I think once a fan base becomes toxic enough, they get like a name. You know, I think that's really the barometer.
Are you pulling from Bachelor Nation?
I am. Yes. They are in fact toxic
Yeah.
enough to have a name like Bachelor Nation. What is Bravo?
Yes.
Bravosphere.
Bravosphere. They're definitely toxic enough. I love you guys, but let's be honest here. A little toxic.
Well, and like a ton of the comments that I see, because it's just my algorithm, are Big Brother, like Big Brother fans.
Are they
So the Big Brother fan segment of the Traitors fans was they were very riled up. It was very intense, a very intensive situation. I don't know if they have a name.
At you stabbing Daniela in the back again? Is that what they're referring to?
Pretty much, even though I have like a really good defense, but yeah, pretty much.
I'm on your side, but I would love to hear your defense. Not that I need to hear it, but maybe some people
Well,
do.
that's just the narrative that's out there, is this like crazy story of betrayal. And it's like really like the details matter. And so I feel very much on my own side that it was not a crazy story of betrayal. Like, to me, if I was going to stab Danielle in the back, the method for that would have been that I would have gone to the confessional and said, tonight's the night. I'm pulling the trigger on Danielle. I want to be the last traitor standing. I've got this idea. I'm going to plant these seeds. I'm going to go to the banishment table and I'm going to lay out this evidence against Danielle. That would have been a betrayal, right? A takedown of Danielle. The situation that I found myself in, rather, was that I actually attempted to save her life in the game. I went around. I tried to get votes for her. I worked really aggressively and really hard. We got to the banishment table. It didn't work. You know, everybody was so rallied against her that wasn't going to happen. And I was forced into a situation where I had to choose my own self-preservation over preserving us as a duo. And in doing so, I had to vote with the majority, which happened to be against her. So I personally don't see it as like this crazy attack and betrayal. I feel it's a very, very different scenario than, say, you know, what I said would qualify to me as a betrayal. But listen, it's flashier and zestier if we call it a backstab and a betrayal. So by all means,
does
go off.
Danielle see your POV at this point, or no? Do you think?
I think that she does, actually, yeah. And I think that probably like the discrepancy between my POV on Reindeer Games and my POV on Traitors in the way that she is able to receive it is that she herself had to do a lot of strategic game moves on Traitors that existed for the reason of self-preservation in her own mind. And so it gives her a little bit more of a sympathetic or an empathetic eye to what the position that I was in. Versus when we were on Reindeer Games the first time, it had been so long that she played, since she played, that she was probably way more annoyed. I think that this time on Traitors, she's like, yeah, it was a bad position to be in. It sucked. I get it. I think that she's more open to it this time.
She kind of sold you out after you voted for her because it
She totally did.
she
yeah.
basically was like, yeah, well, you're cool. Brittany's a fucking traitor. I'm out. Bye.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. And I had to try to to flip that on its head and flip that back on Dylan. And I had to try really hard. Like, I was specifically remembering everything that she said to him because I knew that he was the target I was going to have to go after. And so I tried to spin it, but yeah, it was a bad look. And, you know, she was acting off of emotion. She was pissed. She was pissed. So, I mean, I'm not surprised. It had happened prior. Bob the Drag Queen did the same thing to Boston Rob. So it wasn't surprising, something I was going to have to contend with. I can't even really be that mad about it because otherwise she's basically saying like, okay, it's cool with me if you win. So I get it.
Your logic was basically, because like had you voted for Danielle, then it would have been a tie again, right? And then what, they would have coin flipped
That's
it
right.
or like?
They would have, we don't know for sure because the situation's never happened, but we knew it would be left to chance.
Okay.
So sure, probably a coin flip. In that scenario, 50% that she goes anyway, right?
Yeah.
Like in that scenario, she still has a 50-50 shot of going home anyway, and I'm going to have not voted against her twice. And if Dolores does end up switching her vote to Danielle, I'll be the only person who wouldn't vote for her. And that's a very bad look. Being the only person, because I know she's going to stand up there and say she's a traitor, whether I vote her out or whether she coin flips and goes up. She's
Yeah.
going to say she's a traitor. And being the only person who won't vote for a traitor, really bad look, really indefensible. That's evidence that we've presented against multiple people in the game at this point. So
Yeah.
I definitely didn't want to be in a situation where Dolores does switch her vote and then I'm the only one who wouldn't vote against her.
Yeah. So basically you're just like, I'm not leaving my existence here down to a coin flip.
I either make this vote and try to take the wheel or I leave it to a coin flip and deal with the repercussions.
Makes sense to me. Yeah.
I get it too. I mean, have y'all talked? Like, are y'all friends?
Yeah, we talked after the reunion because during the reunion we had like this crazy argument about the reindeer game, not even about Traitors. Like, of course, it goes back to the peppermint forest. And so after the reunion, we had a good conversation. Actually, like our first, I feel, productive conversation about the reindeer games. Wish we had had that maybe prior. I think that I don't ever want to speak for her. Like, she can feel however she wants to feel. I think that she's more receptive to it. I think that things are good, but you know, I leave it to her to tell her side. I don't have any problems on mine.
What did you think of the remaining faithful all leaving together and having 4 winners? Because you definitely were like the only drama of the entire finale. And then it was just like, oh, okay.
I couldn't believe that with the argument I presented against Dylan, that it didn't get him banished. Like, even if I didn't get him banished over me, that's fine. Like, kick me out first. But is nothing that I said still lingering in your mind? Like, I had so much good evidence against him.
What did you say? I don't feel like a lot of it.
Yeah, a lot of it did get cut. But like, him and Danielle had worked together as a unit from early on in the game. So any evidence that he had that was contingent on the fact that Danielle and I were allies, I had that same evidence against him. The night that all the people went into the coffins, he self-admittedly had been in the room where they did the writing of it down.
Yeah.
And so I presented this whole argument about who was in the bookcase. Dylan was in the bookcase. I was never in the bookcase. I would never go to the bookcase. Like, I had this whole thing about Dylan being in the bookcase and how that he made better sense as a recruit for Danielle. If Danielle was in the situation to recruit, which is why, like, there was this clip of me saying, like, if someone was recruited, it wasn't me. That was in direct response to Dylan saying, I think you would be recruited. And I put that back on him and said, listen, you make way better sense as a recruit because everyone thinks you're a faithful. So if you're going to recruit someone, why would you recruit someone who's already suspect? Why would you not recruit someone who's a super diehard faithful if you're going to try to stick together and make it to the end together? Why recruit me when I could recruit you?
I mean,
you're a perfect recruit.
You make a great point, and honestly, I think that was a huge mistake in Danielle's game. Like, I would have recruited Gabby or Dylan because she was so locked in.
Definitely, yeah.
She was so locked in on you. You know, it's just like everyone just assumed, and rightfully so. And like, had she picked the other two, it would have changed everything.
But if she picked the other two, she was almost literally just handing them a win. With me, my name was already suspect. So it was like, if we don't go together, neither of us go.
Mm.
If she gives it to someone like Dylan, she's just handing him a win because she's still going to get banished, but
That's
he's
true.
going to go to the end of the game and win the whole thing. So in her mind, it's like, yeah, I kind of want to let Britney win as long as I can win too. I don't really want to just let Ivor win. I mean, she literally would have just been handing him the money. You know what I
That's
mean?
true.
I was the only one that was like also a little bit suspicious. But yeah, it annoys me that they didn't. Not that I don't like Dylan. I love Dylan, but come on, that was a good argument. Like none of you are even suspicious after this great argument. That's annoying to me.
They were just looking into his eyes and
And then Ivor said at the banishment table that night that he wasn't there for the money. And I think that he thinks that the whole like kumbaya thing is like really going to go over well and resonate with audiences. No, that's like the worst thing you could say. If for no other reason, I would have been like, Ivor, you literally said 10 minutes ago you weren't here for the money. And so I'm so happy to have given you this experience, but you're getting the boot because I am here for the money. So
yeah, they could at least
Bye.
voted off Ivor. It's
Yeah.
like, bro, you're a fucking royal. You don't need this shit. Like,
yeah.
And he literally said it. He was like, and I think we all know we didn't come here for the money. And I'm like, is he insane? Yes, we did. That's the only reason we're here. Like, what? He said the words. Like, he basically said, like, you can vote me out if you want. I just, why split it 4 ways when you can kick him and split it 3 ways? Like, it just doesn't make fiscal sense. I'm sorry, but they're fiscally irresponsible people.
that's an extra $15,000.
They're
Yeah.
irresponsible.
Yeah.
They're irresponsible in making great finale television, and they're irresponsible fiscally, if nothing else. Maybe
Agreed.
they're great people, but they're fiscally irresponsible.
You tell him, Brittany. We had Chriselle on. She talked about the whole Danielle swearing on her grandchildren. You are the closest to her, I would imagine. Where
Yeah.
do you think that came from? Was she really just like, I'm in, no matter what?
Oh, it definitely came from like, she's trying to sell the idea really, really hard. I was a part of the conversation that Chriselle was in. It was separate from the conversation that you heard about on the reunion. It was a different time when she did it in front of Chriselle and I. And so you just have to kind of understand, because I know Danielle, or I was very aware of Danielle's game, it didn't exonerate her for me. It did for them because they have no context of like these games, how people play these games, Big Brother players in general, sadly. But like, so for me, when she did it, I was just like, all right, it's just words coming from her because I knew that that would be like something that she would do and justify by saying like, listen, this is a game. Like, this is the whole Big Brother mantra is like, it's a game. It's a game. It's a game. It's a game. However, Chriselle saying it, like, absolutely, I knew that she was a faithful after that because I knew that just Chriselle's personality and her history, it's just not something she would do.
Mm-hmm.
So absolutely, Chriselle and Dolores in that moment, like they earned my trust 100%. Danielle, I was like, yeah, cool, but like, yeah, you just know it's a little different whenever you're working with someone who comes from like Survivor or Big Brother.
So Danielle swore on her grandkids, and then like Rochelle and other people were also swearing on things that were important to them, basically.
Yes, correct. Yeah, it becomes, well, like in that scenario, it becomes like peer pressure-y, right? Like if somebody brings it up, then everybody else has to like,
well, yeah, I swear on mine too. I swear on mine too.
And what if you
Yeah.
didn't? Because like I don't know, like for a game, my daughter, I'm sorry, I ain't swearing on fucking anything. I don't care if I'm a faithful or a traitor. I ain't doing
I
that
was about
shit.
to say,
Like
if you're not lying though, it's not really like an emotional. It was. I will say, like Dolores, as soon as it happened, she immediately said, like, "I'm disgusted that I just did that." Like you could tell that she was like
it's weird.
not happy with herself that she had even done it in the first place. Like it bothered her to do it. Again, that's how I was like, well, she's for sure faithful because it was like impactful to her. Like she did not like it. And I get it. I don't think that I could lie like that either. I really don't. I'm in a different situation. I think it's left to the individual. I've been through personal life experiences that would make me like I couldn't. Plus, I have anxiety. Welcome to having anxiety. If you're a person who has anxiety, you have this like tendency to believe that words and energy like actually can change biology and make like a meaningful impact on what happens in the real world. If you don't have that affliction, congrats. It must be nice to sleep all night every night. Like you must just sleep so well. I am plagued with anxiety. So like, no, I don't think that I could like lie like that. But again, you just got to know the source.
Coming off of that statement, obviously you are a mom, you've talked about your kids. How bad were or are your intrusive thoughts?
Oh my God, the worst. And it's so heightened for whatever reason. Like I don't even understand why this happens. But anytime that I go into a really, really stressful situation, it like brings it back. You know what I mean? Like it, for some reason, it like bubbles it up and like it makes it, I don't know if it's because it's sort of like reintroducing the mental environment that you were in when you were in like your worst state. I don't know if you can relate to this at all, Nick, either with like having filmed other shows, but it's like, it brings up like all of your worst, deepest, and you have to actively fight against that while also trying to accomplish whatever you're trying to accomplish on the show.
Interesting.
It's really weird. I don't even know how to describe it.
How we're working with other Bachelor people, obviously Gabby did very well. Wells went home right away. But I also feel like Bachelor people historically do very well on these shows, even though people often don't expect them to.
Yeah, they do well because they're great faithfuls. They're just really great faithfuls. We haven't, well, wait, Ari became a traitor way, way, way late in the game.
Yeah, season
And
one.
then, yeah, and then he quit because of it.
Yeah.
Like he literally couldn't go through the like emotional torture of trying to cut someone's throat, so he just quit.
No, like Bachelor people are so afraid of being like the villain or looking like the bad guys. So like the idea of a traitor and having to kill someone is just like, it gives them the heebie-jeebies. It's just like, it's...
Yeah, like he literally was just like, oh, now I will have to fight for my life and try to cut your throat. I'm good. It's been a good time, you guys. I'm out. And he walked away from the fire. Like it was crazy. But yeah, people from Bachelor make great faithfuls because they don't really have like the gamer mentality. They're like, but they're good on camera. They're good at like forming connections and making it kind of fun and having fun with it. But when it comes to like the actual game, they're not seen as threatening because they're not just like super game literate, if you will.
So you're not a threat.
I'm not a threat.
Mm-mm.
There you go.
No.
I hope I get a chance.
Actually, you were rumored to be on that season. Like I had read spoilers that you were going to be there.
That's what I've heard. I think I'm rumored to be on every season until I get on one season, I guess. I don't know. Maybe because we cover it or something. I don't know. I hope someday I get the chance. I hope someday my schedule allows it. So it looks like a lot of fun.
Does it?
You didn't have fun? You didn't have fun?
You always have fun in retrospect. Like you get home and you're like, oh, look, I'm on a helicopter. Wee, that's so fun. But like when you're actually doing it, it's horrible. Like you're away from home for a month. You don't have any contact with your family. You're in this like paralytic anxiety state at all times. All the obtrusive thoughts. Like it's difficult. Like you work for the money. I'll tell you that much. Like it's work on your mind, body, and soul. But then there's always the retrospective where you're like, oh, that was great. Like, I loved that person. That was so fun. You know, I'd like to go back for a day. You feel that way about anything that you film, but it's always miserable when you're filming.
Okay. Well, Brittany, thank you very much for taking the time and giving us that insight. Do you think maybe any more like Big Brother, like All-Stars? Are you looking for more?
Who knows? I don't know. I would take a call. I would never do Big Brother again in its like traditional 3-month-long format because it's just not conducive to my family anymore. It's a little harmless Christmas themed spinoff. What could go wrong?
Okay.
What could go wrong?
Maybe someday. I mean, you know, what Traitors is 3 seasons now. You think they'll have a Traitors All-Stars?
I don't know. I mean, I've definitely heard people say that they suspect that they will. Who knows? It's not in any of our hands, so we can put it out there, but it's up to the powers that be at Peacock to agree.
Well, it's a very popular show right now. So, you know, when they make money, they look to make more. So who knows? Brittany, thanks so much for taking the time. We appreciate you. Where can people follow you?
Guys.
Plug away. Tell them all that good
Yeah,
stuff.
follow me on Brittany_Haynes is my Instagram, and I have Traitors recaps on my Patreon account, and you can find the link there in my bio. And I'm going to start covering my OG aired in 2010 Big Brother 12 season on my Patreon account.
Ooh.
All about the nostalgia.
All right, well, check it out. Brittany, appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. She made a good point about,
Mhm.
like, it's almost as if Danielle had no way to win at that point. Unless, I mean, Brittany was her, I guess, only option.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense.
I could listen to people talk about gameplay for hours.
I know,
It's
it's
so-
so interesting.
it's
to
so
hear their,
interesting.
strategy and
I mean, I don't agree with her. If I was the Four Faithfuls, I'd have been like, we have to stay or else one of you guys is getting crucified. Because, like, she was saying that they should do what Trishelle and CT do, where she was like, why wouldn't you just, like, take the money and vote someone out? But MJ got played in that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I would do the opposite.
Well,
and
that's maybe the thing is just like the alliances weren't as strong as
keep CT and Trishelle.
yeah. They obviously had been friends from their time on the challenge together, and it seemed like Gabby and Dylan were like maybe the closest line to that point, but that was after a whole season of like Dylan going after Gabby, as he mentioned to us in his Going Deeper episode. You really have to have someone that you're going to be like, I'm going to fuck these other people over, you know? You kind of have to know, like CT and Trishelle, like kind of knew, hey, we're going to screw over MJ.
I agree with Brittany though on the Ivor thing. Like, seems like a nice guy, but he's a royal. He's not there for the money amount.
I
Like,
kinda agree with that, yeah.
split the money between the workers.
But in the moment, without being able to
Yeah.
talk to any of your peers, are you really going to like actually do that and assume that everyone else is aligned with you? Because no one really was. I mean, actually, you
it
don't really
takes
need
one red flame.
It only takes one red flame, and then you can be like, this guy doesn't need the fucking money.
He's rich.
He's rich.
Yeah.
That's why you have to be Dolores and go in there and just like, tell me right now or not, and I'll fucking kill you. Like, just tell me, are you going to vote me out?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, to Dylan's point too, and he was like, it's not worth ending a friendship or screwing
It's
over
not.
a friend for $10,000 extra dollars.
No.
Like,
Speak for yourself. I'd sell all of you out for $10,000.
good to know, Mary. Good to know.
Well, breaking news, the second season of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives will launch on May 15th on Hulu.
Woo.
Just announced.
So it's
Wow.
not on ABC.
No.
So it did not take the Bachelorette airing time. So that rumor is debunked.
Well, like we said, we have Emmy and Will with us tomorrow for a very juicy episode of Going Deeper to talk all about the summer hospitality reunion, why Will wasn't there, what's going on with their relationship, all that drama and so much more will be tomorrow. Do we feel comfortable where we left off Summer House?
I mean, we
Exactly.
didn't talk about how Sierra laughed at Wes's joke. And he was like, I feel better now.
That's a very me thing to feel better about. I really related to West in that moment.
Because it was when Kyle was like, I mean, anybody can invest $25,000 into the company. And Wes is like, I don't have that money right now. And Sierra's like, that's kind of funny, actually.
It was just self-deprecating enough of Wes for her to be comfortable enough to laugh about it.
yeah.
All it takes.
I could see the
It's like,
cogs
he's
in
still
West's
poor.
brain.
Ha, I feel better about myself.
Yeah, and Wes was like, yes, she likes me.
And then Kyle was more offended by Paige calling him the dictator of the dinner table instead of Two-Faced. He was like, call me that one more time. And she's like, dictator of the dinner table.
I don't know. I don't agree with like how Kyle handled it per se. But clearly Kyle feels on an island. He feels alone, and not saying who's right or wrong, but like, I don't know, like if you're married and, you know, Kyle's has had his transgressions against Amanda well documented, the things he said and shouldn't say towards his wife. But you shouldn't have to like fight with your partner, your spouse, about like having each other's back and feeling like your partner has your back. And I don't know how Kyle and Amanda gotten to the point in which they gotten to, but clearly Kyle feels like he is on an island as it relates to his business. And while I don't agree with how things might be handled, if there are rumors being spread about him and his business that are coming from Craig, and these rumors are negatively affecting his business, I would feel a certain way about it.
There aren't rumors that are. It's Craig just worked with a different company.
Yeah,
No, but like, I don't know, wasn't Kyle saying about
Kyle's
like,
upset
you know,
with Hannah for
the
saying
Hannah,
that he got her
sure,
fired.
but everything that's going on between like Hannah and Craig and all these rumors, you know, all the things that Kyle's mad about.
Yeah, but I'm like, in Amanda's defense, I'm like, Amanda had Kyle's back when it came to Hannah, and that ruined a friendship with her. They're like, cannot even be in the same room.
Did Kyle get Hannah fired?
That I don't know. I mean,
They
if
said it was disproven in the this episode.
Yeah, I'm like, if you watched this season, I was like, Hannah didn't do herself any favors
Why
while
did
being
Hannah
on
get
the
fired?
show. I don't know why Hannah got fired. She just wasn't asked back for the following season. What she's saying that Kyle did was that Kyle got mad because she did an ad for Truly and that he went to production to get her fired. Amanda says that that's not true. I don't think Hannah was getting along with a lot of the cast members.
That seems unlikely.
I think the history, when I look it up, it looks like the reason people think Kyle got her fired is because she implied that Kyle was the reason she didn't get asked back.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
we don't know.
The fact that there is not one different label of alcohol anywhere in that house on camera shows that Kyle definitely has an upper hand than most of these people.
He does.
They have production laying out his company and will not allow any competition around.
I mean, if you're Kyle, I mean, you know, fight for that right. You know, it
Yeah.
does.
It's true.
What if you like have a lover boy allergy? Would you just not be able to go on Summer House?
Lindsay did have the champagne.
But they did not show
They didn't show the
Carl's
label.
that
over.
brand.
Nope.
They didn't show what the fuck it was. She just said, I have a non-alcoholic champagne in there.
And Carl's
Mm.
drinking non-alcoholic Lover Boys when they're
I mean,
cheersing.
you know,
I'm just saying that I do feel like, unfortunately, Kyle's in the wrong here because it's like your issue is with Craig, your issue is with Hannah, and instead of reaching out to those two people, you're now putting one of Amanda's best friends in a tough spot to where it's either have Kyle's back and fight with your friends or be on my side. But like,
yeah,
Kyle,
I don't get what Paige is supposed to do.
Exactly.
It's not Paige's responsibility. That's why it's just more like, and the fight was between like Kyle and Paige. I get that, but I'm just saying like Kyle shouldn't feel like he's on an island.
Yeah.
He should his.
That's just what happens when you have the DJ table.
yeah, and
guess
I'm like,
so.
Amanda's
just what
gonna have
happened.
her girlfriends back where it's like she even said this man is off his rocker. Like, you're yelling at Paige about something two people did that it's none of Paige's responsibility. So now you're just putting me in an awkward
Also,
position with
just
my
like
friend.
rage texting someone is
Crazy.
wild.
Or rage text the right person that you're mad at. This poor girl's waking up being like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
What did I do to you? Where's my name in any of this?
Even if Craig's on Do Not Disturb, you can push through.
One other thing though, I will say though, it's tough in adult relationships, especially when money or business or like adult topics sometimes get intertwined with friendships.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have to pick sides, and it's really tough to play both sides or maintain friendships with two opposing sides who are in conflict with each other. Eventually, you just are forced to pick a side, you know? And while I don't agree with Kyle and how he went after Paige, I guess I can see a situation where Kyle's married to Amanda. Amanda and Paige are best friends. There's, you know, Paige is hosting her podcast with Hannah, who like very much Kyle and Hannah don't get along. And every once in a while, Hannah's on their very popular show talking her shit. And then Paige's ex-boyfriend or then boyfriend is like, I can see why things get like a little like convoluted. And every once in a while, you know, here's Kyle hanging around Paige, who's like recently was just hanging around Hannah, who recently said some shit about his business. I'm just saying eventually it's just really hard to constantly be Switzerland. And sometimes like, you know, you need to take a stand. And sometimes friends involved are just like, you know, get pissed being like, why do you hang out with that piece of shit? Or why do you fuck with that person? And blah, blah, blah. Not agreeing with anything, but I just like, it's really hard to be Switzerland over and over and then like maintain this level of like, you know, Paige is acting like a martyr for like trying to play both sides, but it's also like, and I get it for her standpoint, she wants to be friends with everyone, but I'm just saying eventually that clock ticks and eventually someone comes and says, hey, you can't be Switzerland anymore. I need you to pick a side. And all I'm saying is I kind of get that.
But I'm just like, at the end of the day, I'm like, Paige is gonna choose Hannah over Kyle any day.
Sure.
So I'm like, and
Fine,
at the end of the day,
fair
those
enough.
are both her coworkers. Kyle is a coworker. Hannah is her coworker.
She may pick Hannah 10 times out of 10. I'm just saying I don't agree with how Kyle's handled it. I can
You see
get
where
what
it's coming from.
I can get why eventually he's just like, I don't give like fine. You're not on my fucking side. You know, there's a lot of times where Natalie and I will have conversations with people we hang out with or acquaintances of ours or people at times we've like referred to as friends. And every once in a while, I'll say to Natalie or she'll say to me, these people aren't our friends, you know? And you really, as you get in adulthood, like you need to know who your friends are and you need to know like who has your back and you need to know who's talking shit when you're not around and who is defending you if shit gets talked behind your back when you're not there. And that's good to know who those people are. And you know, I just eventually it gets to a point where you're just like, I don't want to fuck with people who I know don't have our back. And I kind of get it.
Period.
Anyways, we'll do it for us this episode. Tomorrow, don't forget Will and Emmy of Southern Hospitality. If you haven't been watching this show, you are missing out. Many have called it what is replacing your Vanderpump Rules itch. So if you're looking for messy people working at a bar and like fucking and dating and accusing each other of sleeping around, this is the show for you. And we have Will and Emmy addressing all of the rumors and drama tomorrow on Going Deeper. And then we're back on Thursday for another hit reality recap episode. We'll see you then. Bye-bye. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.